5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team's turn to ban. Radiant team's turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team's turn to pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team's turn to pick. Bang. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team's turn to pick.
Treant Protector.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team's turn to pick.
Admiral Concar.
Alright. They were like, let's do Bloodseeker SF Venge. We're gonna do some Venge into SF Vault. They failed it. They got absolutely shit stomped. It was the funniest thing I've seen. Okay.
Much better. I like this opener much better.
This is a very
team ban
off right now. This Conker's most likely going safe lane. if anything's to judge by, Razor can be flexed to any of the 3 roles, to be fair, whatever they want to do with it.
It's funny because I totally agree with you, but Empire say, nah, this could be Punka mid. Golf lane. They banned TP.
10 seconds remaining.
Me think of Razor in that way as well, like Razor to counter Kunkka mid, like you put Razor
5
mid.
seconds
yeah, but
remaining.
if they're doing that, then isn't Kunkka even more likely going to the safe lane?
Yeah,
They're doing Razor mid. I'm just pointing that out because I totally agree. I think generally we're seeing Kunkka played in the safe lane, and that's where it's.
Yeah, I mean, you have to respect flex. If you go all in on like pretending that this is one role, they just feel like, why did you just do that? And they'll just move it. So even though it's most likely to go to a certain place, you still have to respect the fact that other things can be. So that's why they're banned for like what they feel is like best against them. Like Razor is he struggles against like the big illusion boys. They have so much damage outside of the one hero that you're static linking and the ability to do stuff. I think
10 seconds
I
remaining.
definitely love Bane as an opening more than Treant Protector. I think Treant's been pretty hit or miss,
5
especially when
seconds
teams
remaining.
end up picking him and then going to
Dire
like,
team's
all
turn
around
to
mid lane
ban.
anyway, because
Right.
Treant just infamously
Radiant
cannot like
team's turn to
rotate down the
ban.
lane very well. It's very hard for him.
I think it's where they took a bit of advantage of, like, you're there first pick to take the best 5, and then they get that core into.
What about I've seen a Snapfire, for example, as the first pick here.
I'm about to say there's like quite a few heroes that didn't go through, and I think this is like where we see like a shift in region maybe, or
10
just in
seconds
terms of what
remaining.
these teams prefer to play. There's obviously been research done. I think if we were in C right
5
now,
seconds
they first
remaining.
pick Bane, enemy take like Snapfire on.
Oh wow, yeah, Mars is in the middle. That's cool.
Yeah, like both of them got through uncontested, like no one cares. And then we see Kunkka and Razor instead. These are what these teams like focus on. It's what they prefer. It's what they want to build their drafts around. Like both of these teams can draft a whole thing around these heroes right now.
We'll say the Razor Bane lane. If carry is like bad. You Nightmare, then Razor picks the Nightmare, and that's it. There's no more to it. Unless you go for like a pop.
Dire team's turn to ban.
Just too good later.
I think the Raze is similar to Kunkka where it is currently a bit of a flex. Maybe they have a lane they're leaning to, but depending what Navi pick, they may decide, okay. Raze will see.
It's true. We have seen that today, actually. Was oh no,
we saw
T1 forced
yeah.
mid, yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
I really wasn't a fan when I first saw it, but after
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
Apology.
No, he's not here, and he'll never hear this.
Are you sure?
I'm 100. He's not Cap.
Do you think Cap listens to the panel while he's running
I
down?
hope no. He's way above us, bro.
Yeah,
he's like grapes being fed to him right now in the costume. Like yes, yes.
He's probably talking to Fear like I want to hear what you have to say, Fear, not these hooligans.
I mean, it's weird because every time he comes into a room, he
Dire
hears the trumpets
team's turn.
playing, right? It announces it.
What's that
It's
about?
like, that's so weird.
I will say, one of the heroes I was expecting to see actually get picked in the second phase that got banned out is OD. I think OD, yeah, he started really bad week 1 and was a bit of this meme joke that, you know, this hero looks yuck, but it's turned around the last few days. It's getting wins.
OD believer right
I
here.
am
No, I
an
still
OD
hate OD.
believer.
God was on the OD
remaining.
train from the start. He is
Yeah.
not bandwagoning here. Just want to point this out.
It's
Well,
been
5
crushing the
seconds
last like
remaining.
3 or 4 games I've seen. It's won them all.
I think it shows more personality to admit you were wrong.
Radiant
I
team's
love
turn to
Razor.
pick.
Now,
Lion.
Okay.
whatever.
Alright,
Who cares? Okay, so Navi are gonna pick Lion. It's really nice disengage against Razor. It's gonna give them a lot of burst magic damage because right now Kunkka
Radiant
he
team's
kind
turn to
of
pick.
gives you a
Dire
lot. He
team's
gives
Max.
like nice lane presence. He gives the ability to catch. He gives you the ability to magic damage. He gives you like team like sustain in terms of run buff. But Treant pretty low damage outside of the lane. So Lion makes up for that, and he's going to be someone that can help set up kills for Navi around the map. Right now they have 2 aggressive heroes in Kunkka and Lion, so I think they're going to play like, I mean, it's kind
10
of like
seconds remaining.
counter to what Treant wants to do, but like this does give them the
5
ability to make
seconds
risks
remaining.
if they want to.
Right.
Empire on the other hand, I mean, this is a really weird draft for me. I'm like,
I love it. I
it's
mean, I don't.
cool, like I like
Yeah,
it, but it's weird.
This is such a Eastern European draft.
Yeah.
And theoretically, Phoenix, we were seeing a lot of this core Kunkka, safe lane Kunkka. Phoenix is a hero that should be good against that. Kunkka doesn't kill the egg. Very high tanky hero. Sunray should be good against him on paper, I feel. So, to me, Phoenix makes sense here against Kunkka, but there's still 2 picks for Navi. They've shown both their support, so we're not going to probably see a Snapfire.
Radiant team ban.
Or that's going to be killing eggs. They get Lena.
fine.
There's an egg killer.
I'm curious if this Phoenix was like planned, or if it was something they just came up with now on the spot. Because I remember back when Dragon Knight was like every game in the meta, like people started to think like, oh, okay, DK is way too strong, but like, let's start to think of like how we can counter it. And then we would see like Phoenix coming back into the meta
Radiant
because of
team
how
ban.
Sunray was against it. Is this like, oh yeah, let's try Phoenix against Kunkka? We think it's the answer. I like what you were saying about it a lot. So I'm curious to see how it will play out. They don't have any like massive combos with the egg. Like there's no overgrowth, like no Triad, no Faceless, Chrono.
They'll call.
Yeah, they have Call and that's it.
Between Call and Grip, I think that's
10
decent for
seconds
protecting
left.
it. Like
Decided?
if Axe can blink on this Lena, you the egg.
5 seconds
Yeah.
So there's
remaining.
definitely no guarantees this.
Yeah.
This is something that Ghost has been running forever now. The Axe combo, any iteration of Team goes, he forces it. He is a big Axe player as well, so it might be, oh look, it looks good against the Kunkka, but it's a strat that we already have, right? The Axe into Phoenix. Because the question here, the most players and viewers should be, why not Mars, right? And it might just be Ghost's player.
No, I'm only worried that. Sorry to click. But I'm just only worried that the Call is going to allow the egg to go off, but is it going to kill anyone? Because if Kunkka gets off boat in any of these fights, I don't think Lena is dying in Call. And she's usually like quite squishy and you're like happy to call her. I just don't know if she's going to die. I don't know if you have any burst damage on any hero on Empire that's going to...
They don't currently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somewhat-
just
I think that's a
slow
good
down.
point because you think of Axe usually wants heroes with lots of damage behind him, and Phoenix and Bane are both pretty low damage supports. Razor's kind of low damage as a carry until like later on with the refreshers, so I think they need that mid that blows people up. Something that TA, Lena's maybe an Ember Strip that's high damage. depending how you-
Dire team's turn to ban.
These are heroes that I think are good for them and suit what they're trying to do. They maybe need another playmaker, but they're still going to be slightly on the lower side.
Radiant team's turn to
Flex
pick.
picks from phase 1 make it really hard for me to see how lanes are going to go as well, because I don't know if like Kunkka is going like off lane into a carry. Is Razor going carry or mid? We've seen him in both. Like right now, it kind of all depends on what pick Empire are going to do here, and then Navi can like finalize their lanes and what they want to do. I definitely like
10 seconds
whatever
remaining.
lane tree's in, they're probably going to be pretty happy.
I would imagine Razor goes safely.
5
just
seconds
because-
remaining.
Maybe
that
be a
bad?
counter. Yeah, definitely a counter pick. I mean, you don't static link with them.
I mean, that's true, but like you could just plasma field and like you're still a range share that kind of.
Yeah, so you just even, which is not the greatest thing for a Razor.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's bad in his game plan.
I don't know if we're looking for an offlane here on Na'Vi, who is it that's fine laning into Razor? They banned Pango, which was what we saw General playing before. I think he might have even done it into Razor. So that's his like classic ban
They were
down.
watching T1s where they bust out the offlane pop tree and
Actually, that would be a strong offlane against Razor.
no joke. I mean, you've got a
Dire team's
Tunka
turn
as
to
your
pick.
carry. You've got lockdown with
Wind
Tunka lines.
Ranger
I
at
think
your
that
service.
is doable. Not saying you should. I don't think Navi will, but I think Pop offlane would actually.
Wind Ranger?
The mid Wind Ranger.
Okay. I mean, it's interesting. I don't like it that much. I think Wind Ranger into Kunkka and Lion is awful.
Yep. Not even that
They
great.
just seem to,
10
you know,
seconds
let's pick the
remaining.
lane kind of thing.
I mean, it's okay for against Lena, but it's not like you.
It's not a winning.
5
it's just
seconds
like,
remaining.
Whatever.
We don't want to
Yes,
Razor. We don't want to send Razor. We need a range here against Lena, and
Yeah,
it's
I'm not a fan
I
of
would
that.
have
I
much
don't
rather
know
seen Void Spirit, honestly, or
anything.
Puck.
No.
Not Puck is Lion.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Puck's the Ranger because like Puck dies to Lion. So does Wind Ranger.
Yeah, everything has to Lion, right? That's true.
Yeah, it's just Wind Ranger's literally like, I want to use Wind Run and I want to escape you, but she's X-Mart stun. I mean, if I'm trying to think of benefits to it, she is a hero that can like dance around Kunkka with BKB and kill him. Like she is going to be the
Good.
damage that gets through his like H people.
Like-
yeah, that's nice, especially with like whatever proc item she wants to go, like Javelin, Maelstrom, whatever. She'll get through the Treant armor. I think like that is like the amount of physical armor needed to get through this. But yeah, she struggles till BKB. Really hard.
We have a lot of low cooldown catch as well on this team now. Like
That's
between
true.
Axe, Wind Ranger, and Bane's Nightmare.
But Na'Vi aren't restricted that much to cooldowns either, to
No.
be fair.
True. They can even pick a relatively fast offlaner here, but I'm thinking of what beats Razor.
I think we could carry.
Clockwork!
Choose your
What
hero.
am I looking at? What?
Is it core clockwork or
I think it's Cork.
That's-
Clock?
Yeah, it's
clockwork?
called-
Yeah, I know.
That is a general special. He did love the Clockwork for a long time back when it was meta. He forced it when it wasn't meta as well. And I mean, Cog pushback.
It's another hero that make Wind Ranger's game really annoying. You don't want to go before stuff on Wind.
Yep.
Good
Also-
into Bane.
And neither of these support. Like usually your 4 position is the one to buy force. Just buy force. That
It's true. It's good against Phoenix too because you force Supernova in the wrong position more often than not.
No, his job in fights will be to go on Cowrie's Bane. I don't. If he's going on Phoenix, I mean, they need to kill Phoenix somehow. I think that's more Aloha Dance's job.
Okay.
Than it is General's. I think they need.
So he's just about disturbing the Bane
Yeah.
and maybe blocking off the wing.
These are weird drafts. I can't say which one I favor more. Probably Navi's just because I really hate the Wind Ranger pick.
it's a big question to me is how well General can do. Like you're playing Clockwork into Razor. That just seems like a really rough lane. It looks like he's going to have the Lion supporting him, not the train. So that's going to make his lane a bit better, but it still seems like a pretty tough lane. Like basically Earth Spike and run away every time he gets static.
I guess you can push him back with Cogs.
Yeah.
Not the worst. I haven't played the lane. Maybe he has. Let's go.
Oh, let's go. Let's see if General Clockwork does do the trick here as we go into game number 1. And for that, we have the wonderful casting pair of Cap and Fear.
That's right. I'm going to be carried by Fear in this casting duo. Fear, we've never actually got the chance to cast together before. Well, I'm pretty excited for the next, what could be 4, could be 6 games. We've got a hefty plate ahead of us.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Get to watch some Eastern European Dota. Followed the last series on Sunday. First time get to see Na'Vi, so I'm pretty hyped for that.
Yeah, just kidding.
Well, I will say that both of these teams have lost their first series that they played up against, but it does look like Empire, at least just through the eye test, I personally think they look a little bit worse than Na'Vi, and it's probably easy to say that just because, I mean, you look at the names on Na'Vi and you kind of expect great things. Maybe not top of the group, just from what we've seen over the last year or two, but we're still expecting, you know, top 4, hopefully a major slot for them, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that team in general, if you just look at their players, like they have, you know, no one solo, the old VP. V-Tune, I think, has
30
looked very
seconds to
impressive as a
battle.
carry player for the past year or two. Honestly, I've really liked the stuff he's been showing. And in general, it's just a solid offlaner, I think. He's been on many teams in Eastern Europe, and he's always seemed to be, like, putting up a good laning stage for the most part. And he plays a lot of, like, cool heroes as well, like the Clockwork in the offlane. Not sure how that will do this game, but it's cool.
That's a throwback. That's a throwback for sure. We're gonna get a little bit of a battle here over the bounty runes. We'll make sure there's gonna be no first blood or anything. It is going to be
Rattle 'em, yeah.
looks like 2-for-2 splits. I wanted to talk to you about Solo and get your like personal view on his journey as someone who has reached the highest level of success. How do you continue that motivation? Because we saw Solo, he didn't reach quite the same level as you did, being able to win TI, but they did have this period of time, right, where Virtus Pro was the most dominant team for like a large period of time. It was like a solid 9 months, and they had a 2-year period where they were consistently very, very good. And then he recently had this fall off just this last year where he went from an upper division team to a lower division team to getting knocked out entirely. Like, what is your take on that journey that Solo went through?
I'm surprised that like he was able to get back like on a team that has like, you know, top names again. Because like once you have like that fall, it's kind of hard to get back up, right? Unless you find some type of opportunity to play with these players again. But sometimes that doesn't happen. So as far as his motivation goes, the fact that he's still playing already shows enough that he's motivated in my eyes. And he is hungry. He wants to play and win for sure. So I think him playing with like a new player like VTune is really good for him. Instead of like playing with some of the older guys, maybe he can be more of like a lane captain again. And maybe that motivates also me as like a live. Specifically to, you know, give it my all. It's like play with some new blood, new talent to motivate you.
Right. Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. We'll see how this lane of theirs does. They're going to be playing the Kunkka Tree Protector against Axe Phoenix, which I have to say, I just got done watching a replay of Axe versus Kunkka, and it went all right for the Axe. So I can't imagine that a double melee lane is going to be able to threaten Axe too much.
Yeah, it should be a wash. I don't think Kunkka reversely is going to get pressured either in this lane.
Yeah.
Phoenix is a little bit of a weaker laner. You don't see him too often on position 4 anymore for that reason. So they'll probably both just farm. If Kunkka plays his cards right too, he probably won't get pressured by the Battle Hunger because he has the Tidebringer. Pretty easy to get CS with that.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the Axe nowadays, they're just like pretty much using the Battle Hunger to help win the support on support battle. It's just like kind of tips the scales to your support's favor, where they're kind of playing a 1v1 game and oh, that guy gets Battle Hunger, and now my support is going to be able to just kind of like win the 1v1 duel. Bottom lane, they are going to be playing a Clockwork off lane, throwback to the old days of the old Suicide off lane. It's very different time nowadays. It feels like Clockwork has been a support for years and years and years now. What's the value of running it as a core here?
I think they just ran out of heroes to put against like the Razor. They still wanted that melee initiation guy, but your options are quite limited when you're playing versus the Razor, right? So the cogs will kind of give him some distance, so the line can rotate out of the lane, and the Clockwork will feel safe to be put there alone. So I think that's the biggest value it has. Biggest weakness it has is that it doesn't really have any team fight. Well, their team fight's really coming from just the tree and their carry, and the carry is oftentimes not going to be part of that really fights. So he's just going to have to make a lot of pickoffs in this game, and hopefully his laning stage goes well. And surprisingly, he's actually winning his lane right now. So
yeah. Actually getting a decent number of denies as well, which is pretty interesting. He actually went for the build that we saw. It was kind of like it was a bit of a meme that was around, I would say, about a year ago. The Wraithband build, where you just build for an extra bit of armor, depending on who you're matched up against. And obviously against a Razor, that's going to be pretty valuable. And that just leaves our mid lane matchup, which is going to be No One's Lina, who once upon a time was feared as like one of the best laning mids in the game. I remember Sumail, especially when I asked him about like, okay, who's your like top 3 mid laners specifically, and no one was on that list. And he's going to be matched up against Shisui, also in this game known as just SH, who's playing Windranger for the 3rd time in his professional career, obviously in professional matches. Obviously play a lot more in pubs.
Yeah, I mean, I used to play on a team there. Jisui. He seems like the type of guy when I played with him that has this comfort heroes, and he likes to play him. But it sounds like he's branching a little away from that. He's really spectacular on Monkey King specifically.
Step lively now.
We'll see how his Wind Ranger does. Right now he's doing okay mid. A lot of denies on no one here, so a little behind in experience, but keeping even with CS.
It's is that ever a problem when you know somebody is like very specifically likes a certain set of comfort heroes and doesn't usually try and get out of it too much? Uh-oh. Yeah, he's in big trouble. Shackle Shot is going to be able to latch him down. They do have living armor, which is going to be able to keep no one alive here, so he's good. And Shisui's actually going to take a lot of damage on the way out here from Solo.
And on bot lane too here.
Still keeping it going. They actually got him inside of the cogs, and Lightless is dead. Na'Vi, general clockwork, man. It's in his wheelhouse, and he's comfortable with it, and I guess we're going to see why. It's managed to win a lane that I honestly did not expect to be won.
Yeah, it's partly because the Bane went for that 4-minute water rune there, so he was left alone, and kind of this line here in general, like you can't really play very far up. There's a lot of kill threat, as you can see with this lane, if he is isolated.
Lightless comes back with a bit of vengeance, but the damage is kind of already done. It's 17 and 10 on general. He may not be getting the same kind of CS that the Axe is, but just the sheer number of denies is actually extremely impressive. But Ghost Stick still getting that free farm that we're talking about. We haven't looked at top lane too much just because, as Fear said, it's going to be a bit of a wash.
Heads down. Fought badly.
Yeah, there's pretty much no kill threat here unless Tree.
Oh, they got him again. Lightless is done for. A second time where his Bane this time around was going for the pull, and Lightless just plays way too forward in the lane. Like maybe the last one, maybe his Bane needs to not rotate out, but I feel like that one, your support gives you the heads up, right? It's like as a carry player, you just can't be forward, right?
Yeah, that's a classic. He's just trying to get that extra 1 CS instead of like respecting his opponents. But Navi does a great job of like seeing that, you know, he's too far up, he doesn't deserve the CS, and they punish him immediately. 6-minute runes, who's checking them? Got it secured there for Leno. Illusioner in bottom. Interesting to see that the supports aren't moving that much in this game for the runes.
Yeah, it feels like nowadays the trend is both supports on both sides at 6 minutes are going to try and secure that power rune. And,
yeah, I think specifically it has more value if you're playing with spirits, which you see a lot of, because they can make rotations with them. But Lena and Wind Ranger, I think these heroes are just going to farm for the most part.
And I'm sure a part of it is just the fact that Lightless has also died twice. So Kaori's probably like, okay, I can't really leave this lane anymore. I got to make sure my Razor doesn't totally, because this is not a hero that can really afford a lost lane, right?
No, he can't, because he can't go jungle, right? He doesn't just get that morbid mask like some Luna and just hit up the jungle. He's really designed to win his lane, so it's a really big setback that he is 2 deaths already. And honestly, he's behind in denies and CS behind the clockwork. Oh, they found out the Bane bottom lane here.
They're going to be able to surround him. The TP rotation is coming in, but it's going to be a Phoenix, and, well, maybe that little bit of extra of attack speed slow is going to be just enough to get Kaori out of here, and now Lightless is going to be able to latch onto General. A dive through from TSA is going to be able to slow him down. Just a little bit of extra. General with the cogs pushed back should be so from downtown. Chisui made his rotation over and managed to land the long range power shot to finish off the kill.
The big kill. That clockwork was snowballing pretty hard. Now it's gonna put him, if the lane's in good position, now it's not in good position, but it's gonna delay his 6 a little bit, and maybe even his TP will be forced bottom, which will allow them to make some plays on Empire if they see the clockwork TP bottom.
All right, Fear, since I have you here, I need you to settle an argument with me. I'm not sure if you're listening to the panel earlier at all. Hold up. No one? They're going to be able to get the kill on Kaori, certainly, as, in a way, with his life, he secures a power rune for Shisui. That's going to be a regen rune for him, which he quickly pops. What do you think about Razor carry nowadays? I was trying to tell Sheep this hero actually scales really well going into late game because of this refresher build that people are going. Sometimes we see Aghanim Scepter, but it's mostly just about being able to get double Eye of the Storm out. Are you a believer in this, or do you feel like it's a fad that's just gonna go away soon?
I have a lot of thoughts on Razor. The first is like, as a carry, I think he needs a good lane matchup and he needs a link target in the game. And he definitely had both this game, but the lane it didn't go as well as it should have. But I think overall the hero is good if it has a purpose. But I think the reason why it's able to be picked early is because even if it doesn't have the greatest purpose, it's still a fine offlaner mid if you want it to be. So the fact that it's flex means you can pick it early, and if the conditions are right, it actually can be a great carry.
Step lively now.
To see how he performs. So what about the other side of things? We've got the safe lane Kunkka. That's been a new bit that has been going around people, especially since the Silver Edge change, where you now have the build up of Chrysalis, this guaranteed crit, where you come out with a Tidebringer. Do you feel like this is another innovation that will stand the test of time, or just another fad?
I think the safe lane Kunkka is for sure solid. It is a super strong laner. His talents are insane. He does not like solo carry game. He's not going to be a hard carry by any means, but he fits perfectly well with like a Lina mid, right? Like this core combination will have plenty of damage throughout the game. Maybe it won't be so great if you're like playing a style where you're picking some IO and you're, you know, getting Bloodlust and Empower. He can't really carry the game if you put a bunch of steroids on him, but he works really well in like a duo tri-core setup.
Right, you get your Linas, SFs, those kind of like scaling mids are really going to help you out. Maybe there's a few offlaners that can cover that gap well. And here we've got the Lina for the side of Navi, which we've certainly seen be very successful. Is going to be able to get away from that rotation nice and quick.
Step lively now.
That's the point of the game where things start to slow down. You see the Treant just hiding up there, defending his tier 1. Clockwork's actually TPing out near the safe lane because he realizes, unlike the Axe, he can't pressure his lane. Another downside of the Clockwork, right? He can't just cut the wave and chip down at the tower. So he's kind of forced to, like, he has a smoke in his inventory to just find something on the map. So there's a little bit of pressure now on Navi, I think.
And while he knows Ghost Stick is here, and he could have gone for the hook shot, he just doesn't have the damage to be able to kill what is a very farmed Ghost Stick. He's got Vanguard, Blink Dagger already, still holding on to a Fairy Fire, 1500 HP. He needs a little bit of extra help if they're going to be able to get that kill, and Ghost Stick isn't really taking any chances. He didn't really try and pressure the tower too much, just playing very efficient farming, pushes the lane in, farms neutrals, keeps it on repeat.
I feel like this is kind of awkward for Navi right now. They have like this Clock who wants to get stuff done, but then they have like this Treant who doesn't want to do anything, right? Just wants to sit there, so he doesn't know who to play with. His Lion, I guess, is level 6, but someone has to take the lane. Lina's just farming.
I guess I can get faster.
And I think this Kunkka versus Razor matchup is not good for Kunkka the later it goes. So.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I'll just say, Fear, I'm sure we've run into each other a few times. I'm a Clockwork spammer. I'm getting anxiety for him, you know? I'm just like, bro, we gotta get a kill soon. Otherwise, we're gonna fall off the face of the earth. And he is gonna be able to find a 3v here as Kaori runs right into him up into the high ground. So General's patience is somewhat rewarded. No one rotated for ultimately a 5 position. So it's not a huge win for General. It just kind of keeps him keeping his head barely above water, I think.
To last long.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, it's just really about, do we trust like our cores versus their cores as the game progresses? Because they're both farming, right? And this Lina's farming really well, and I think this Lina is set up for a pretty good game. I think the Axe is the biggest threat for her. You can't die if you get called pretty easily. But I'm just like trying to, what do you think about the late game situation here? It's like Kunkka, Lina versus like Razor and Wind Ranger. Wind Ranger is kind of like a wild card for me. This hero's really hit or miss in my book.
Yeah, very hit or miss. I think the panel did bring up a good point, which is like the Axe call, where's the follow-up damage before the Wind Ranger pickup? Now we've got the Wind Ranger, so it feels like as long as like if only one of these cores of Navi is a problem, the two single target heroes of Razor and Wind Ranger, I feel like, should just be able to focus them down. And I'm assuming it's going to be no one, just because I've seen these Linas carry the game. So I'm kind of leaning towards Empire, just because of the fact that I feel like they're going to be able to run down this Lina and just focus her into every fight. But I'm also not a big believer in Tree Protector. So that's also just... I feel like
I'm
it's...
with you on that one. That hero is not that impressive. It even goes down to the laning stage. I just think there's so many great heroes you can pair with Kunkka in the laning stage to have a strong lane, and Tree is just not one of them. There's a smoke coming out though from Empire here. They're getting bored. They look a little confused here. Are they going to jump on mid wave? I'm not sure where to go. Razor broke his smoke. They're just baiting the 14-minute rune, it looks like.
I mean, no wonder they're making a move. Ghostic's like, guys, I've run out of farm. Like, honestly, I've got a Blink Dagger Blade Mail. Oh, this is the first reveal of that one, though. And even Shisui actually taking the LSA. They're going to be able to catch Ghostic here. He is decently tanky, but maybe not tanky enough, as the magic damage is going to come through. And a failed smoke gang from Empire certainly turns all of a sudden this game on its head, because now Na'Vi... Okay, never mind. I thought maybe they're going to pressure mid tower, but they say no, back to farming.
It's funny, they both have the same idea, because Na'Vi was actually smoked too on the opposite rune.
Yeah.
So, like, they missed initiation there. It would have been a totally different fight. I think Leno just would have died immediately there, and that would have been in Empire's favor. But unfortunate miss of the blink call, then they were there for the counter initiation on Clockwork. So, good for Na'Vi. That's
gonna be
the guy's
bomb,
mastered
right?
here on Axe, huh? Wow, what a lot of Axe games. Never seen that on Axe.
That's an intense... Like, are you a Grandmaster tier on anything?
Me, no.
Yeah. I feel like it's just been such a limited time since Grandmaster tier came out that, like, you must really love that hero if you've already gone from 25 to 30 like that.
I'm almost silver on every hero, and gold on many heroes, and platinum on a few, but master and grandmaster of none.
It's actually really impressive that you've got silver on every single hero.
Pretty close to it, yeah.
All right, well, Ghostic's like, okay, well, I guess I can get a BKB next. This is going to be one of the most farmed axes you're going to see in a while. But the question is, how effective is he going to be? Because as we saw, the movement speed of Lena allowed her to just stay one step ahead of that call. And if they don't get that, then she's just going to be able to stay one step ahead. In fact, she's going to be closing in on BKB, so it's going to make it even harder, potentially, to be able to catch and bring down this Lena.
It is interesting to me, though, that they're both cores are going BKB in a game that seems like a really awful BKB game.
Someone better help Dyer's
Like, I would
tower.
like to see, like, maybe more Lincolns versus the Razor, Shadowblade, something like that, but, like, what does BKB block this game? I guess Blade Mail, a little bit of Phoenix, but, like, it's a lot of stuff that goes through BKB this game.
Yeah, I was watching. I was watching the. I think it was the Hellraiser's VP series, and I was just like, actually, it was the Puck Champ. Puck Champ was doing it. Second item BKB on 2 of the cores, and I looked at the game and I was like, this is a sick BKB game, because they had like I think it was like Luna, Storm Spirit heroes that had like a very serious magic damage like mid game, and they weren't going to be able to do anything against BKBs. This one, I'm not feeling the same way about it. But we've got it anyway. BKB, ooh, hook shot just shy of that Phoenix. Does manage to get off the map and TP'd out. So it looks like we're going to have the trade-off of the tier 1 towers potentially. Solo's going to try and slow down, but there's a heavy commitment here from Empire, and they would love to be able to catch Solo. Spawn him for a second. Do manage to get the call, but is there going to be any follow-up this deep into the trees? They catch him. Overgrowth. There's the shackle shot to be able to keep him in place for a little while longer. Another power shot. Lightless. One more round of plasma field should do it, and there he goes. The captain of Na'Vi in the 5 position. They are going to rotate in, though. V2 wants to make use of this fresh BKB. He's going to go for the kill on the Wind Ranger, but can't quite pull him back. Lightless, nice. And call coming in for Ghostic. A beautiful setup with the Cooling Blade chopping him down. Shisui is not able to get away from no one, though, who in the back lines with a BKB of his own came through. But those 2 BKBs from Na'Vi, the early timing that they got, did not allow them to win their first team fight.
I mean, that BKB just did absolutely nothing, I think, on Kunkka. He TP'd in, BKB'd, he got focus fired. Shortly after the focus fire, he has 70% of his BKB left, gets static linked. All right, he has half his BKB left, then he gets axe called. All this during BKB, and yeah, it doesn't really work out too well for them. They should decide faster what they want to do here. Looks like they're going to go in here on the axe.
much by himself. A good use of the hook shot is going to be able to get him away, but still, Empire seeming very in control. The net worth is even on this game, but that last team fight win, I'm sure, put them feeling pretty good about the game and probably up in experience.
Dire's middle tower is under
I'm not gonna lie to you here, Cap. This game here is really real scrappy, and that normally only happens when teams, they're not looking so crisp right now. Like, they can't decide what they want to do. This tree is being chased for probably a solid 30 seconds before his team even decides to like react to that. And normally when that's the case, you just don't react to it. You just use the map, right? Farm everything, let your tree die. It's space. But when you react to it, it's no longer space.
Step lively now.
It's
Your
a team
admiral
fight,
is
and
on
they were
board.
too slow to react to that.
Yeah, I feel like a big part of that is I feel like it's the items making that decision for them, you know? Like, they got the 2-item BKB, and they're like, we must be strong. Let's take any fight that is presented to us, even though they didn't actually do it right away. They still took it eventually, and they lost that. And now I'm looking at V-Tune going, is this carry Kunkka actually gonna scale well? He didn't go for, you know, like that Crystallis Silver Edge buildup. So he's not got like this hefty amount of damage that's really threatening to Empire yet.
Yeah. I just think they're playing the map wrong on Navi right now. Like, it's like no one player's fault. It's just like the team idea of how to play the map. I think Team Spirit was playing this game on Dire. They'd be playing on the side lanes, they'd be shoving side lanes out, Tree would be lurking, Leno would be TPing in when he sees an opportunity with some overgrowth, but they'd always be pressuring the lanes in the meanwhile and getting their farm up instead of like desperately looking for these smoke ganks and trying to play as a team. Like, they don't really have heroes to like be smoking around like that, and that's kind of the nature of the Train Protector, but they're gonna do it anyway, and it should be very obvious what's happening here.
They're going to be able to find Zui, who, without a BKB, was so close to it, is very, very dead. So, going to be able to get that pick off. Fortunately, wasn't quite obvious enough, or
like
Zui doesn't get out of there in time. And Navi do get that pick. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, both Clockwork and Tree Protector kind of lend yourself to a very pick-off oriented playstyle, right? And the fact that they're so gung-ho about team fighting is a little curious. Because Empire, they're willing to take a team fight potentially. Okay, he gets out.
Yeah, so like the reason why I say like he should have seen that and he should have seen that gank coming on Shisui is bottom lane there were just 5 heroes down there. Phoenix pushed the wave out and they didn't see anything, right? So if Phoenix isn't getting dove there or dying there, you have to respect the fact that they're gonna cut across the map.
Especially with your mid tower, like mid tier 1 still up, like you still have a pretty good sense of map control. If they're not bottom, you don't really see them mid, then they kind of gotta be top.
Yeah,
just
for sure.
Process of elimination. Looks like Yule's potentially next build up for General into Aghanim Scepter. I will say at least the Aghanim Scepter does give poor Clockwork a little bit more scaling than it used to, but still.
I mean, when's that coming?
Yeah. How does Clockwork farm that without getting an excess number of kills? Guess it's you got to be really good at rocket flaring creeps, you know? Hook shot in. They're going to be able to find the initiation onto the axe once again. Gets off the blade mail. They are just going to throw everything they have. Finger and the Blue Blade. Empire reading that though and saying there's nothing left in the tank for these guys. Let's run at them. Lightlet's going to challenge. Nice beam strip into the back line. No one is going to be caught left for dead here as Lightlet smartly reading that no one is dead. He just keeps trucking. You know, he keeps looking for that next kill. And won't be able to get it because of V-Tune, but still a nice idea and a good read by Empire, despite the fact that they lost their initiator, their offlaner, right away. They still read they're stronger in team fights.
Yeah, he got his blade mail off before that, so he actually returned a lot of the damage there. And he was so close to a tower there. If you can't get the kill quickly and get out, you know there's just gonna be a team fight. It's a really interesting spot. Like it looks like a kind of like a desperation smoke in a way. Maybe in their eyes, I guess it's not a desperation smoke, but it's like really wanting to make something happen with the smoke. If you look at where that fight happened, and you look at the tier 1 tower mid and the shrine and bottom and the tier 2 bottom, they're really pincered in there. If they don't like get a kill fast, they're just gonna get surrounded, and they did.
Yeah.
I don't think Axe is that ideal target too. He's way too tanky. Another smoke. They're really wanting to get everything here. Razor no BKB.
played a little fast, and it's going to be able to catch Empire a bit off guard here as a defensive sleep comes down. That is going to be enough for Lightless to get off his BKB. Stoking away the damage from General. He's got to be careful of B-Tune's damage, respecting that one. B-Tune looking for the nice cleave, hitting it off the range creep. Nicely played. Shisui's still going to be able to clean up a support here, but now that the focus fire is done, there's not much threat left. Na'Vi is going to back away, accepting a 1-for-1 trade. Support more. They're very happy with that.
They even got the refresher. He popped the refresher to get another BKB off right before he got cleaved. So that's down as well. Fortunately, BKB does not save you from that cleave damage.
Maybe we can finally see both mid-tier 1 towers still live at 24 minutes is pretty insane. I can't remember the last time I saw this, just because the importance of the mid towers, usually one of them is gone by now, if not both. But B-Tune looking to be able to finish it off now. Couple of shots, and finally that does it. So 7-10, Na'Vi now getting a little bit more, not a net worth lead, but they are at least going to be able to control a little bit more of the map, and maybe that will naturally translate into a bigger goal.
Now, if you think about it, like, part of the reason why these tier 1s stay alive in a game like this is because of the tree protector factor. And it's not just because tree heals the tower as well, it's also the tree doesn't move from his lane, which means you don't really have these mid skirmishes that you normally see, and then all of a sudden the tier 1's dead, right? He just sits in his lane, and nobody really moves around the mid lane, they're not really checking their runes. People have just kind of like ignored the mid lane in this game, and it's sort of treant playstyle, but it's also player playstyle as well.
Yeah,
like, I look at his tree, right? Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say the meta right now is so important to be able to control mid, both for power runes and the tower. It represents map control, and that's why I hate Tree and Protector. It's just, as you say, like rotating Tree and Protector in the mid lane feels awful.
They're beating
it's not the best, but some good trained players can make it work. And there's a smoke coming from Na'Vi here. Again, how many smokes do we have?
They're going to be able to get the call onto this poor Clockwork. Nice hook shot away, though. That's going to be able to actually let him live. Power shot just slightly off the mark there. Really good escape from Empire's smoke. And Na'Vi going to be able to retreat back to their side of the map. Feeling good, feeling controlled, and I would love to see them go in after they just saw a failed gank like that, but I guess the refresher's coming back up for Lightly.
Yeah, he probably wants his BKB up and then refresher. They have to be out of smokes now, right? It's like
they got it. That was like 4 in the last 5 minutes. They are going to be able to catch solo here. Shisui cleans that one up. Set up for Roshan, but they don't really have the best way to take it. Unless
both teams have awful objective takers. Like Kunkka, Razor are not great at hitting Roshan, not great at hitting towers. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna mainly be off team fights and dead
Admiral is on board.
Can't really just brute force.
We have yet to see like that definitive big team fight win where like, you know, we get a 4 heroes dead or something like that. Nobody's had the big enough opening to do so.
Yeah, I think right now Na'Vi, I'm very curious on how they're gonna play, because to me they've kind of been like a one-trick pony. They really want to fight, they really want to smoke as like 4 to 5 heroes at you, but now that they're out of smokes, can they find a way to play the map in a way where they don't require smokes to make something happen? Looks like they're gonna go to like the traditional format of just putting 4 heroes bottom and sitting here and farming. But at some point, that's gonna feel awkward because they have Roche control on Empire.
Snow fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under
attack. You kind of would like to see maybe someone pushing out top. I guess that would only really be the Tree Protector. You do that safely. They're gonna mass rotate down to this bottom lane and potentially catch no one. They do manage to get him right away with a call. The Flame Mail just ripping him apart. The Shackle Shot follow-up. They thought they were safe because Solo was sitting behind the tier 2, but he didn't actually see the TP rotations coming in, and as a result, no one's dead. An easy 3 kills for Empire, and perhaps an opening to take an objective.
Likes this very much.
Empire's just playing better than Na'Vi. Like, they're just playing better. Like, everything I've seen from Na'Vi this game so far, a lot of it has to do with the Treant, I'm sure. It's just, it's been very slow and very obvious, honestly.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Looking for another general. Using the Yols,
Dire's
getting
middle
rid of
tower
that haste
went
room, but
down.
mid tower is still dead. A big win for Empire as
Your
Lightless
admiral is on
starts
board.
taking over the triangle as well.
That's a big pickup for Hunter though. He got the spider legs versus Razor. That'll help him out a lot. You can just like cut across terrain where Razor cannot cut across.
A little unfair.
Unless he got his own spider legs, but it's like they didn't.
All they've gotten is Psychic
have a
Headband and
chance.
Paladin Sword so
They have a
far.
chance.
So they roll of the dice, see if they can get it.
That's just Dota sometimes.
You, after all this time, neutral items, it's been about 2 years now. You, how do you feel about them?
Oh,
X goes out before the BKB could, but it doesn't really matter. Ghostic is there for the follow-up call, and Lightless is with his own BKB, chasing down some heroes. BKB ran out, though. No one. A defensive sleep. Trying to get him out, but the Overgrowth is going to be able to hold the Razor in place, and he dies. Focusing now onto the egg. It's going to fall as well. B-Tune with a double kill, looking for more cower. He's certainly dead. He gets Yule stopped by General. A clean team fight win for Na'Vi. Well, not super clean. It did cost them buyback from B-Tune, but it's certainly going to be enough for them to look at a big Roshan.
yeah, I don't know what's going on with these teams. Razor just didn't pressure orb and BKB again, so he just got Lena stunned after his first BKB, and Shane stunned after that. I thought for sure it's like, oh wow, it's like they're going back.
Ghostic almost got B-Tune. That probably would have been a kill, but instead he's just going to die here. And now the Wind Ranger gets caught and doesn't have BKB when she comes back down from her trip in the tornado. So that's going to be a team fight wipe, ultimately. And Roshan for Na'Vi,
Tells me we haven't seen the
and
last of him.
clean lead for them.
Yep, team fight Roshan. That's what I was saying. I was Empire, like they're outplaying them. They kind of just outplay themselves there a little bit. A little bit of the young blood mentality there, trying to go for that Roche steal for huge plays, adds more damage. It could have been big though, to be fair. It could have been big. They had two choices there. They either go for that play and like make a huge play there and be praised, or they could have just shoved all the lanes out and made it so after Na'Vi did Roche, they have to deal with their lanes. But now they have lane problems and they died at Roche. So Na'Vi is in a situation right now where they can do whatever they want on the map.
Yeah. See what they do. As the Wind Ranger comes up in 10 seconds, Na'Vi is going to be in prime position to maybe pressure the bottom tier 2. They can sweep across the map and invade the triangle again. Got plenty of options. General halfway through his Aghanim Scepter. No one's going to be going for a Satanic. No one a little bit skittish about hitting this tier 2 tower because he got caught last time. Only once. This time they're going to be able to get the call onto B-Tune. And if they get this kill, it is going to be a dieback here. They're going to focus him down. The Overgrowth missing. Chizui is going to be able to quickly BKB that one off. And Lightless now trying to drain away the damage of no one. The last shot comes in. A good use of the refresher to be able to get that plasma field. And now he's going to come back into an immediate sap of damage. There's no follow-up to Sables here until, there it is. Ghostic is in prime position to be able to stop that one. Just as you think Na'Vi is going to be able to get some control, they get surprised once again by the bottom tier 2 defense of Empire. General, sucks playing Clockwork against Phoenix for just that reason. Can't even get out of his own cogs. Just like that, the game swings right back into Empire's favor.
That's
There's not much to say.
First, I mean, there's a lot to say, but I'm trying to like not be mean, you know, like in this situation. So
Someone better help Dire's middle tower.
first of all, Kunkka didn't have the Aegis after buying back that fight. That was weird, and he's hitting the building. Second thing is, how does that happen again? Like, they have a treant and they have a clockwork. Like, if they want to be hitting this tower, there has to be like a rocket flare for vision to cancel the dagger. There has to be some type of initiation there, so this doesn't happen. If Axe jumps you on your tier 2, you're gonna die. They have so much control. Like, you are gonna die if he jumps you there, so they have to get the jump first. And they have a clockwork. There's no way they should be there without having some type of rocket flare and initiation, but alas, they were. Kunkka has no buyback, so Lena's not going to bother buying back. They do have the living armor to delay this a little, but they did finish it off, so they won't be able to heal it back up.
Empire can just go ahead and take this outpost, and maybe they can go for a second tier 2 as well. This is very, very odd. You know, I appreciate how kind you are. You didn't want to say anything to Beam, but I will just say, like, this is Division 1. You know, I expect, you know, I expect good things out of at least Na'Vi, you know, because Empire can forgive some missteps. Because everybody but Ghostic has a much smaller Wikipedia page when it comes to history. Ghostic is just able to get a nice initiation on solo, just a free kill. They ensure Navi's not getting back into their triangle. No opportunity to be able to get any farm out of those ancients and stay pressuring Na'Vi and not letting them outside of their base.
Yeah, I mean, I expect a lot more from Na'Vi as well. It looks like a team right now.
Oh, chain stuns! Push back. There's going to be the defensive nightmare once again. The Fiend's Grip holding him back. Lightless needs to be able to keep his distance from D-Tune. He's got to respect that again. D-Tune trying to get away from the egg. Does get stunned up for a second. Ghostic is able to walk backwards here as they are still waiting. A little bit surprised that no one didn't go for the buyback there on the Lina. But it looks like he's trusting in his team to be able to hold without him. Shackle shot not quite latching onto the Lion in the back lines. The Ghostic, he's gonna chill. We're a little bit too low for this. Oh, maybe not. They're gonna re-engage here. Nice little top up from the Sunray. A smoke and waiting for somebody to be a little bit too far forward. Kari does manage to get the Nightmare. Lead off. Solo doesn't go for the break there. Let's the Kunkka get initiated on, then down he goes. 85 seconds gone. And with 40 still left on no one. Looks like they... Okay, now he's going to go for the buyback after the hookshot initiation. They're going for Lightless here. Does manage to hook... Oh, what a Nightmare save! Just in time to prevent the Laguna Blade, and they run out of damage on Na'Vi. Empire once again bailed out by their support. Kaori killing it right now on the Bane. Even as he dies, he did his duty, man. That was beautiful.
Yeah, did you see both those saves? He saved from the boat the first time when he was out of position on Razor, and the second one he just joined the Laguna Blade. So,
damn.
Speaking of good things to say, this Bane is playing amazing. At least in that last team fight he did. They're setting up for no one here.
Radiant's top tower
Surely.
better.
Alright, no one doesn't go forward, he's missing it out. And someone's not farming like so many waves, has to be a little bit of an indicator that they are doing something. But yeah, like as far as like Na'Vi goes, like I'm surprised after watching this at how far behind the meta it feels like they are and their movements alone. And that might honestly have to do with Treant Protector. It kind of sometimes for a lot of teams makes it a little awkward where your pos 5 is like not part of the game, right? That's kind of what I was talking about before, where a good Treant Protector is rare to find because you have to play this hero so much different compared to most 5s. You can't just be AFK farming. It's kind of like the Nature's Prophet 5, where it's like, oh, my 5 is just AFK the whole game, and then things get kind of weird. So able to find like an impact in this game for his hero, and it kind of leads to these like games where your team feels like nothing's happening. They don't really know what to do. They feel like they're missing a hero on the map.
As a result, Empire, after some back and forth, has now got themselves a 9,000 net worth lead. 21-16. They're going to be able to, I presume, get this tier 2 top lane without Na'Vi giving much of a fuss. We're probably going to be waiting out Roshan, which potentially spawns in just a minute and some change. So we're going to be getting to that period of time where Na'Vi has to get out of their base if they want to be able to contest Roshan. But it's not going to feel very safe to do so.
Dire's top tower is gone. Just
I'm wondering if the Satanic is the correct choice on the Razor. It certainly isn't bad, but as you mentioned before, this Aghanim's could have been very good. Especially, he has everything lined up perfectly for an Ags this game. He's got the AC, he's got the Refresher.
Yeah, especially since it can feel a little bit wonky in team fights, especially if, you know, you're just chasing down one guy, but if you're sieging high ground and stuff, there's just the added benefit of being able to the Ags. But I feel like this has been the trend that I've been seeing lately. It used to be the Ags build up. Honestly, I feel like the first person I saw was Envy, and that was probably like 6-9 months ago. And then this new round of Razor, a lot of people have been saying just don't go the Ags at all, and just the Refresher, which is probably part of the reason that Razor is kind of back into the meta, is that refresher is very meta lately. A lot of people have been loving that item, and they're going to be able to get a nice kill here
Not much
onto the
good's happening to
Kunkka. So
Radiant's bottom
now
tower.
Empire can do the
Bottom
bold
tower is being
bottom lane
chipped
sweep,
away.
tier 1, tier 2. They got to pick off on solo here as well, so
Dire structures are
world's
fortified.
kind of their oyster.
Mega kill! Double kill!
Pain, meet ugly.
Radiant's bottom tower
Looks like
is
they might get
no
one.
more.
Oh,
ECs.
wow,
You fought badly. Died worse.
He's had some amazing calls, and he's also had some very strange blinks this game. He's all over the place. But overall, like, he's been playing amazing on Axe. He has the refresh orb too, and the spell prism.
I think the most
very
important part
happy
is his farm, right? Like he got so much out of that laning phase. It's so often you see an Axe just kind of become a call and then dies immediately. You have to be able to do pretty well in your laning phase to keep scaling.
Yeah, Axe
Dire's
it
middle
seems like a
barracks
hero
are
that
under
looks
attack.
pretty easy, but mechanically you have to not miss a beat on that hero, or you do
Dire's
fall
middle
behind
barracks have
pretty
fallen.
hard. And he has the experience to show for that hero. I think he's the type of player that can put up his hit cycles pretty consistently as long as he's a decent Axe. As you mentioned before, this Axe hero, when you're playing just like a tree or something like that, the battle hunger, generally speaking, make it so he's in a 1v1 most of the time, get a good farm. You don't have a hero that can punish it at some point, and no one didn't seem like he was very interested this game on shutting this Axe down. We got enormous. Alright, another smoke here.
30 seconds. Na'Vi just gonna have to get outside of their base with this smoke.
Where are they going? There's like two top. They're going bottom right, two out of the side. You can definitely tell there's like something in the Na'Vi comms where they don't know what the game plan is. Not exactly. They're trying to like form it on the fly. It's not like a well-ordered machine or anything. They're trying to figure this out.
It feels like to me there are different ideas about what we should be doing. That's my own outsider perspective of watching this Na'Vi game. It just you can always kind of tell when like a team, like somebody makes a call, everybody follows through. You could just see the synergy. You could see the follow through of everybody. This one was a lot more independent.
I'm Shard. He's that good on this game. I really like the Wind Ranger one.
Yeah. I mean, if the game is pretty much about just being able to keep these heroes in place for the Wind Ranger and Razor, there's like Gale Force is the best option.
Immortality.
Yeah, he picked it up.
Indeed. Meanwhile, I love this. Ghostic, they smoked up early. Roshan dies. You're thinking about a certain timing of when Empire could be on this side of the map, but Ghostic left that Roshan pit early. He smoked up with Cowrie, and they're going to be able to be here in this bottom right part of the map sooner than Na'Vi expects. And see what they get. Ghostic going for the blind call, misses that one. It looks like everybody from Na'Vi will manage to retreat safely.
Dire's bottom tower is
Should
under
that shard be
Dire's
global?
bottom
I'm not so
tower.
sure about.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
Like that shard just seems way too good because it's a global. Why? I mean, unfortunately he missed. It wasn't like an obvious miss. He just had to guess that they're running that way, but they cut him to the trees instead. So barely got out there on Navi, but they're back in their base now, turtling it up. Aegis is out. Solo's on the map, but that's just about it. I'd like to see them play a bit more with Solo and no one on the side lanes. Like, you get these lanes shoved out like Solo has on top lane, but have Alina just lurk around just in case that one hero does come back to defend.
Radiant's top tower
You
has
can kill him
fallen.
with those two heroes. Like, a Razor will die, a Wind Ranger will die. Axe might be a bit harder, but
It's a really good point because they don't have a boots of
Dire's
travel here,
bottom
right?
tower is under attack.
Oh, actually, Ghostic, but It's like they don't have some like easy way to clean up side lanes. They're going to be able to get the initiation on a Ghostic. All in on him. They bring him down. Shisui did go for the support, but didn't actually manage to get the kill. The Gale Force goes out. Lightless committing to be able to go on to no one here. Drain him of all of his damage, but no one's running so quickly. Lightless slows him down a little bit longer, drains a significant amount of damage, and puts no one out of this fight for at least a decent amount of time. V-Tune's got to pop his invis to get away from Lightless and all that stolen damage that he has. It looks like they're just going to run out of detection here as TSA spotted him, but doesn't have the movement speed to be able to catch him. So V-Tune's out. No one got a little greedy there and is going to be farming the jungle while he's out here. Might as well, but don't get caught. Ghostic, he's reading this one a little bit, unfortunately. Goes left when maybe he should have gone right, and he's going to miss out on Lena. It's just kind of like blindly looking through the trees. A great idea. You can definitely tell Ghostic, like, his game sense is on point. It's just, you know, sometimes it's a little bit of luck involved in where you look.
Yeah, this Lena can be very slippery too, with the Boots of Travel and 3 Fiery Soul stacks. Very, very fast here.
Certainly seems like Empire's respecting the high ground of Na'Vi. I'm not sure if they need to.
All right, another smoke. This is Na'Vi style. Like, this is my first time casting, but I can tell they're a brute force type of team.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to find Empire with some of their heroes here. Healy going for the axe. Aloha Dance throws out his damage where he can. Tori's dead, but again, taking double ultimates like that. Ghostic now gets to be able to find his initiation. Double call, double BKB, and B2 is dead. He does have a buyback here. So Empire chase down what heroes they can, but as long as they don't overly die, they're going to be able to get this initiation onto Ghostic, and he's dead. That's a dieback. 2 minutes on the clock for him. The Phoenix falls as well. Na'Vi is certainly going to be able to hold themselves in this game for a while longer, thanks in part to the buybacks and General's Agate himself.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a minute, almost 2 minutes for the Axe, but they don't really push that fast on Na'Vi. They did commit a buyback on their carry again. So if they do manage to get their lane shoved and don't lose their Axe here, it's not really going to be a big deal for Empire to control this game, as long as they don't start bleeding right now. It's up to Na'Vi. Make some initiations now. Mine's dead, so fall on the clock. He has the Axe now. So I guess he's had that for a little bit. He's at 4K, so he can make these initiations. A little nervous for Empire right now. I think they should be sitting in their base here.
Yeah, I do not agree with Lightless being here, but he feels like he can take the team fight. Does get Cox pushed, but gets off the BKB, and they're going to be able to take down no one, and that is most of the damage on Na'Vi. The Gale Force pushing them back. V2 trying to get away from Shisui, but he's catching up. He's going to be able to have a Blink Dagger jump forward as well. Do they have any detection? Lightless? No. They've got nothing in the tank there. So Solo is just going to be the sacrificial lamb, but V2, importantly, does get out for Na'Vi. And it was a little bit of a risk, but Empire feeling like, hey, we still have this Aegis. It was just about to time out, too. Got another 12 seconds, so wanted to make use of it. They got the right initiation. It worked.
Yeah, that play was similar to like the Roche one earlier where they jumped in and died. It's a high risk, high reward play because Razor is about 2 seconds from getting spotted and jumped on, and that would have changed like the whole fight because Axe had no buyback. So that's why I was nervous about it because it could have went south very easily.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I'm right there with you. But Empire, the reward is reaped, and they don't have their fight position, and Axe is gonna be able to, he's gonna clean up this bottom wave, and then he can join them. See if they want to try and force out this buyback from the Lena. It's a little bit scary against Clock Axe just because in the moment that buyback comes out, you know the initiation is gonna come from General. You could potentially get caught.
Yeah, no refresher right now on the Razor as well. They're gonna do it anyway.
Poking at Lightless here, getting him pretty low. General thinking about it, didn't quite have the angle though, and no one maybe making the call of that fact that he doesn't want to buy back. They're gonna blow the glyph, and at this point in time, Empire can commit a little bit more. Seeing 15 seconds, knowing that Selena probably doesn't want to go for the buyback. He can continue to assault this tier 3 tower, but
died worse.
It's ultimately not going to be able to force that buyback.
Yeah, Ghostic doing one of his blink jumps again, that little off the mark. He committed BKB for that one too. So they're gonna have to back a bit. So as a clock player, like, is this the stage of the game where you actually get farmed as clock? Because he's like shoving all the lanes out with Rocket now, and he has 6k gold. Like for the first like early phase, you don't get any money, but like when this mid game and everyone's like posturing on hills, this is where you get all your money, I think.
Yes, it's like it's this terrible thing where it's like when the game is even or you're losing, you don't get a whole lot as Clockwork because you're not getting kills. But when you're stuck inside your base, all of a sudden you start reaping some serious gold. Hey, it feels bad for the rest of your team because no one's farming. You're the only one who has the global capacity to do so. But hey, you gotta enjoy what you can get. He's got 6,200 net worth. He's almost got an overwhelming blink, which, well, it's gonna be something.
The item might be. Doesn't look that bad. Maybe an overwhelming blink. Oh, we went Orchid. He's changing up. Okay. I was gonna say, I'm not sure if that's the item. Like some Bloodthorn could be good, I guess. Hex, like some control damage sounds great. Bloodthorn will give him the burst potential for sure. Nice.
Double damage.
Squeezing on through here.
Radiant's
Got the high ground.
bottom
The smoke's gonna pop from General, and they got spotted by this high ground ward. They know Na'Vi snuck through here. They at least know General was here. Certainly wasn't gonna be alone, but the rest of Na'Vi kept on trucking, and they're now at this bottom lane because the creeps are hitting the tower. So naturally, somebody wants to return.
Not much good
Empire, though, being
Radiant's
disciplined
bottom
enough
tower.
not to take that bait, it seems. Are just gonna be like, okay, we're gonna hit your high ground. Knock, knock. Is anybody home? Na'Vi? Not really showing any heroes just yet.
I like the idea of that smoke.
Yeah.
But it seemed like there was a little bit of disconnect because General made a pit stop, like under the vision there, while the rest of the team was running towards bottom. And all of a sudden their initiator, if someone did show bottom, wasn't included, right? So definitely a difference of ideas there. Maybe General thought they were going to fight on that high ground and plant a ward. Oh, there's a mass TP coming back. They just found Aloha dance, but yeah. They'll just run back to their vision, shove out bottom, connect back to vision. They dewarded, so they saw that opening, which is good.
Yeah, and
now would be the time to smoke.
Na'Vi gets an opportunity to push out. They take down a ward. They wanted to be able to get the outpost, but I think they realized there's too little time. And there it is, Empire with the smoke forward. They want to be able to retain control, keep Na'Vi inside of their base as much as possible. And General is going to break this smoke. Looking for the hook shot back into his team. Actually managed to hit the Wind Ranger as she jumped in overthrow. And she's taking so much damage, she's just gone. Just like that. Lightless, nice call coming in from Ghosting. Keeps the pursuit onto no one. Lightless really wants to be able to get this kill. They need a little bit more damage, but the cooling blade, it was slightly too little, but they still managed to get it in the end. It looks like maybe a blade mail, maybe a little battle hunter damage. Either way, no one falls. He buys back now. A must-win scenario for Na'Vi if they want to keep this game going. Gotta get what picks they can. It's just the Phoenix gone for 2 minutes. Empire, we'll see if they keep this time out. They could try and force a small numbers engagement inside of the base if they really wanted to with no Kunkka, but it seems like they're a bit skittish to do so.
Every coin helps.
Yeah, Na'Vi there. I thought normally when you're baiting like that with the clockwork, right? You're sitting under vision, and as that razor pops, you jump him. But he's kind of sitting there on clock alone, and his team is like sitting in base. So I think it's a very just strange approach, and I'm just not impressed by Na'Vi right now and what they've been putting up this game, because this is like some basic stuff for professional teams, and I know for a fact that all these guys on Na'Vi like can perform at a much higher level than they have before, and they know these things. But something in their comms is very awkward. Clockwork's there, breaks the smoke on this razor, but he's not even sitting on a ward, so he doesn't even see the razor. Right? So I'm just like a little confused of what the plan is there.
And then he decides to hook shot back to his team, which somehow miraculously managed to catch the Wind Ranger as she blinked in. But it's like, if that's your whole play, is to pop the smoke and hook shot back to your team and play the high ground, you could have just played the high ground in the first place. You could have just sat in your base.
Yeah, or your team should have just stayed back and let you pop the smoke and not commit to the fight, but everyone got caught there. It's just so weird to see. They have no vision right now except for in the Radiant jungle there. I'd like to see them try to play more in that area. The name of the game, it's 52 minutes in the game, is to fight under vision, right? You need some type of vision advantage where this Lion and Clockwork can see what they're going on and surprise them. Get a pick off. They've been picked off a lot this game, but they haven't really found many pickoffs themselves. They're really just looking for these 5-man smokes team fight you, and they didn't really draft for that.
I will say I was kind of clicking around here. It's a Razor game, right?
Yeah.
What's the one item that you always go against a Razor? Lotus Orb, right? It's not a single Lotus Orb on Na'Vi. Not a single Lincoln's, not a single Lotus Orb.
Let the fighting recommence.
What's going on?
Double
Clockwork had
damage.
a billion farm. Like, he could have gotten a Lotus Orb for no one. If they can get rid of that Link on Razor, he has a much better chance of being able to actually, deal the damage in these fights instead of running away all the time.
I think both are Lincolns, and they should have a Lotus.
I trust there was a good reason.
Lotus is so great this game. It stops focus fire, it stops grip, it stops Link. Granted, your BKB off, right? But if you got like 2 Lincolns and you're stacking them on like front lining, things get a little complicated. Lotus Orb in there too. And then they found Ghostic bottom, or Ghostic found General bottom.
You gotta be able to Fiend Script and so. Ghostic's awkward blink in the trees didn't matter. Empire. I gotta wrap quickly back to the other side of the map because they don't want to let Na'Vi get outside here. And maybe
no buyback Clockwork.
Kill. Yeah. They know this.
Yeah, he has cooldown.
Gale Force. Trying to push somebody out of position. Not quite getting it, but certainly a big opportunity for Empire to be able to siege the high ground once again. Shizui going for the fast kill onto a low hunt dance. Doesn't actually get it. Nice reactions there as they actually continue to blink forward here. Maybe a little bit deep. They do manage to get the call onto B-Tune as Lightless now commits his BKB and tries to double ditch. He can quickly pops a refresher, fresh BKB in order to get out of that overgrowth, but Shizui needs the help. They do manage to get a force snap before the Torrent can land. Ghostic back in once again, but they've committed a lot of their abilities. That's going to be another sap, another BKB with nothing given for it. They still have another round though. Refresher is up for the Razor, and they're going to be able to get the kill on the solo. Now the call jumps in once again for the Aeon Disc and 4-step. Honestly, Na'Vi are doing a very good job, but they just don't have the numbers. It seems like overwhelming resources, and finally there's the break as the Ghostic 2-man call comes through, and even as they kill the egg, it doesn't matter. They do manage to bring down no one, and that is going to be the game 1 of Empire versus Na'Vi. It was a messy game here, but ultimately Empire, I mean, you said it pretty early on, you said Empire's just kind of outplaying Na'Vi.
Yeah, I think this game they got outplayed pretty hard, and Na'Vi needs to change their drafting if they want to play this way. They should pick more team fight if they really like this brute force run it. You pick a traditional carry that can run down lanes. This draft did not suit the way that they want to play from the looks of it.
on anything. Like she feels like she has a lot of areas that she covers, but she's not fantastic
Radiant
at any
team's
of
turn to
them.
ban.
I think Gale, the Chard is just
Force.
Gale Force is just. I mean, it's nice. It makes her more of a value pick now, but.
See more of a personal bias here than actual analysis, but yeah.
It's unprofessional, but oh god, I hate that Ginger.
Is there anything about the
10
design
seconds
that
remain.
I never
Radiant
understood
team
Slice's
ban.
hate for it.
Radiant
I
team
understand like Tinker, right? But like Wind Ranger's like
It's ugly, disgusting model. It's horrible to look at. An eyesore. The Arcana, best thing Valve ever did.
it's really good.
Beautiful.
So you start off by like saying, "Wow, your design sucks," and it's like, "But the Arcana, still please."
10
Still hire me for
seconds
your bench
remaining.
stuff.
For everyone
Kinda
agrees.
sick.
Well,
We
5
have a
seconds
game in our
remaining.
hands, so I'm
Okay.
gonna move away from this Wind Ranger hate.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, I wasn't the big. I'll be honest, I wasn't a fan of Shisoi's Wind Ranger that game. I think it was just the Gale Force was impactful towards the end, but it was just okay. To me, that game was won.
I mean, he shredded heroes. When
He shredded
It
heroes,
was like-
but I also
yeah.
found that it was because Navi was like, you know what?
Dire
Let's let
team's
this
turn
Wind
to
Ranger
ban.
get close
Radiant
to us
team's
and
turn
they'll do
to
nothing
pick.
for a while.
Uh-huh.
To me, it was Ghosting that was
Dire
really
team's
the
turn to
driving
pick.
force. Lightless towards the end.
Weaver.
Dire team's turn to pick.
It
Radiant
makes me
team's
sad that
turn to
every
pick.
single game we can see like this roundabout of like, what heroes are we banning? We banned Bane this game. Okay, never
Hey,
mind, that's
you
new.
were just about to say how all these openers from all
the
these teams, it's always the
same
same. We
heroes.
see a Weaver, we see a
Ah.
Monkey, we see a Bane. It's boring. Pick
Every
something
game.
different.
Ah.
Navi heard you.
Radiant
Navi.
team's
So
turn
you're
to
the
ban.
fan now?
Silencer is also one of the worst supports in the game. What are you doing?
You wanted something new.
Dude,
Why
what
do you
a-
dislike the Silencer?
Wow.
Give me a reason.
All
You
right.
can't just spout out this nonsense
If
and not
you
justify yourself.
ever watched a silencer or played with a silencer, you'll see that there's one thing that he
10
lacks.
seconds
Everything.
remaining.
I don't know. Okay, so my problem with
Math doesn't
silencer
add up
is
there.
5
that
seconds
there's too
remaining.
much.
Dire
Okay, so
team
nowadays
ban.
there's too much that counters global. Like most of your
Yeah.
carries, especially if you're picking it this early, they'll buy like they instantly
Radiant team's
respond to
turn
a
to
Terror.
ban.
He buys Manta. He's a natural Manta buyer. He's gonna not give. He's not gonna care about this.
He's also not that bothered by
Yeah.
silence.
Not to mention, I think there's like 4 neutral items or something that have dispels, like between like
Liquor?
yep,
Witchbane?
yep. Forgotten the others. Yep. No, there's definitely a bunch.
Tier
10
5?
seconds
Maybe.
left.
Tier 5, I
Decided?
wouldn't count those.
I wouldn't count. I
Is
don't-
it tier 5s? Isn't that what?
5
can't
seconds
remember.
remaining.
I
Dire
can't
team's
remember
turn to
the-
ban.
Basically,
Oh, aesthetics cap?
Stakes cat. That's true. That
Oh,
also
it
works.
reduces
Status
your
is-
stat, but still
yeah.
effectively.
I'm throwing this style as something that I read on Twitter from someone else, so I can't specifically remember. All I know is
I
that
genuinely feel like we
because
got
it was a
period flack on
discussion.
panel
It
right
was
now.
a discussion. Shut up! I'm trying my best. It was a discussion on Silencer and why people don't think he's very good anymore. And like
10
I agree
seconds
with that.
remaining.
And on lane, he doesn't feel that impactful. I think he kept buffing his spells, so he feels like kind of okay now.
5 seconds remaining.
But I don't like it. I think like he doesn't have a stun. His ult is like becomes unreliable. Usually it's picked as a response to something like Bane because whilst everyone can purge your
Dire
global off
team
later
ban.
down the line, he at least is
Dire
able to
team's
do
turn
that
to pick.
function of canceling
Radiant
grip.
team's turn to
Right?
pick.
What is this in response to? Just Weaver? Like why are you countering a Weaver? He's pause 4. You could just pick this Lion that they've just taken,
I would've-
and it probably achieves the same effect of like countering Weaver.
Or hear me out, Disruptor.
Yeah. Disrupt. Okay.
I wonder if it's like some. I think it
That's-
may just be like a
10
hardcore lane
seconds
counter.
remaining.
Like that's the idea with it. I haven't personally played the Sounds vs Weaver in lane, but it might.
5 seconds
that's a pretty
remaining.
Right, because you
go
can't
against.
Shukuchi.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you have to lane it differently. You have to like swarm, max swarm.
Yeah.
and
So, and I think generally the idea with your 5 is to secure the lane and then also have some way to impact. Good lane secure, strong harass, and then you've got team 5 potential balancer, global. You know,
I don't
can
think
be
Silencer
impactful.
secures your lane at all, though.
I am.
He has no way to defend himself.
You know,
He's
jury's still out on
relatively
that
easy to
one
kill.
for me.
The Weaver is literally a hero that likes getting on your backline. The only thing I'll say the Silencer gives is that if they're trying to collapse on someone and kill them, Weaver will not be able to buy just a straight like vessel into Ags. He'll have to buy something to protect himself
Yeah.
to purge the
Radiant
Silencer so that he
team's
can
turn
get
to
his
pick.
ult off. That's like I do see the purpose of that, but
Dire
again,
team's
it's a
turn to
pause for
pick.
Weaver. Like, why do you care so much?
Oh, there's the snap.
Radiant
I
team
love you,
ban.
Snap. Snap Slaughter is so
Storm
good.
Yeah, it is.
spirit.
Really nice combo.
Are they lane together?
Most likely. Well,
Weaver
you can
5?
put Weaver 5. Yeah, that way you avoid the silencer, right? To counter your lane.
Apparently, I'm not sure if it is a lane counter, but in my head.
No,
it
no,
might
mean,
be.
Weaver-
I think you're right. I think you're right.
actually, I will say the minus
10
armor from
seconds
Weaver
remaining.
plus Slaughter is like absolutely
Right,
devastating
right.
as well.
Yeah,
But-
I
5
do
seconds
worry
remaining.
whenever I see like this drafts like this where it's like, oh yeah, minus armor from Slaughter with the snap. You got physical damage, core and TP. Weaver more minus armor is like, you're going all down one track for your damage. Where if you're Na'Vi, you're like, okay, itemization, we're tanking up, we're getting armor, we're picking her like Storm that can be elusive and not just die to this. So right now,
Monkey with the extra armor with his ult.
yeah. Right now, I think Empire. Yeah, generally you want to have a bit of balance, magic and the physical.
Like I'm talking to an oldie, a boomer like myself. This is the guys who, or the person who used to run these drafts all the time was Goldblack. Goldblack used to love. He was the inventor, I would say, of the minus armor drafts. Where Jordan likes like Slardar plus like a million minus armors, and it was Wraith King back then.
Dire
He used to
teams
love with
turn
these
to
drafts.
ban.
He used to have
Radiant
a crit
teams turn to
rate,
ban.
percentage chums. And everyone will always say the same thing. It's like, I don't know, you're kind of all in. And Goldblack would either stomp or get stomped, but there was never a middle ground.
There'd always be a dazzle in there with the old weave.
Yes,
I
it was a
the old
dazzle.
weave.
Yeah, it was a fun
Valve
weave.
been bringing back a lot of the old spells and stuff, like, or at least integrating into it here a little bit.
seconds
Like
remaining.
the Tether Stun came back, the level death kind of with the Doom to a certain extent.
5 seconds
So that
remaining.
weave come back.
Don't touch my dazzle. Dazzle's good.
No,
Dazzle-
we're talking about buffs here.
No, I don't
Making it
think-
better. You don't want him better?
No, because then people will start playing it, and then people will figure out how to play against him in lane.
Dude,
Dire team
You
ban.
have a hero and you don't want him getting a new spell or getting buffed.
No, because the best
You
thing about this
crazy?
hero is nobody knows how to play against them. So I poison touch and I hit, and people think, oh, it's no big deal.
So anyway, I like how both these drafts are shaping up so far. I think Empire are really coming out strong with this current lineup because their
10
goal
seconds
so far
remaining.
in the
Teams
game
turn
is
to
to
pick.
win their lanes with Snapfire Slardar, Weaver Terrorblade, if that's what they want to do. I think Weaver Slardar is also strong, albeit with a little bit harder to get on top of someone without like the cookie initiation. They're going to take Roshan on Terrorblade. He's going to, or whoever they last pick here, they could pick something like Templar Assassin if they really want to like all in on it.
10
I think
seconds
honestly that would be
remaining.
like a really good pick for them.
Yeah.
And then they just do Rosh as fast as possible, walk down lanes and make it
5
hard for Na'Vi
seconds
to play into them.
remaining.
Because Na'Vi get a global and then that is the contribution of Silencer. If they pick something like TA, that's a really fast, like she can keep fighting. That's her whole thing. She gets Deso, she keeps fighting. That high tempo ability with Weaver Slardar, who are going to amp this physical damage, like wonderful, like actually just so good. Na'Vi on the other hand, they're playing for pickoffs. They want to
Dire
catch someone on a
teams
side
turn to
lane with
pick.
Lion. They want Storm to zip in. They want to kill like that. Swap, interesting. I guess she's going to be an Orchid buy, which is really nice against Storm and Lion and makes them have to like build defensive items.
It gives them a bit more damage
Choose your
variety.
hero.
Yeah.
There's the team fight that we're talking about for Na'Vi.
Sand King sucks.
Sucks in lane, but he's really good in the mid game. Great against Terrorblade though.
I actually think
I-
Sand King should have a free lane.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
Why mention?
You mentioned Empire, like they're drafting for their lanes for the Slardar lane a bit, but TB's lane looks awful. He got a 5-position Weaver with him.
Yep.
Like,
Versus Sanking line? Yeah, that's tough.
good luck, Lightless. Your team is setting you up for failure. It feels like with
Yep.
this draft. There's a lot of pressure. I feel like on Shishui with the Queen of Pain to make moves and act on this game. I like that they didn't go like double down on damage. I do feel like some like burst magic. Otherwise, you can kill people with physical, but they're going to itemize for it. Ooh.
I think TB is a carry that likes to go to the jungle. So I think what
Yep.
Empire are going to do is they're going to send him away to farm creeps.
Level
and-
1 jungle.
Yep. Then they're going to get levels in their supports who are very hungry level supports. And then I
Mhm.
think Team Empire are going to have much better team fight than Na'Vi. I think Na'Vi are very dependent on cooldowns, getting blinks, so on and so for a while.
Alright. Oh, we've analyzed the draft. Sheepo's given her opinion on how much she hates Silencer. Let's see if Empire is capable of beating this hero, or if Na'Vi will show us its prowess. And now I hear in the distance is... Oh, here,
Oh my
I
God.
proclaim there's a cast by Cap and Fear.
Cap, my favorite.
Thank you. I'm finally getting my due desserts. I deserve this kind of treatment every single time. Fear does as well. We should sound the trumpets every single time he shows up on screen. Fear, they replaced the Train Protector with a silencer. Do you feel better about it?
Moderately.
Yeah. That's kind of what I expected.
I can't get too hyped
Silencer's not
about it
like
right
a
now.
super hype 5 position, right?
It can
Prepare
be
for
in the right
battle.
game, but in general, like, I don't think this hero is that strong. For a lot of the reasons that was mentioned on the panel, is neutral items and just in general line items that they loaded this in. And there's a lot of ways to make Silencer not scale, but he's very powerful in the mid game when you do not have those items or those neutrals available. So they're gonna have to really take advantage of that timing.
One upgrade to it is that Train Protector, we talked about how hard it is to get the right positioning to be able to be in the team fights. Hey, it's not a problem with Silencer. Anywhere you are, you could provide global silence, but it still makes me it's still not a fight position that runs around and makes like plays happen, right? Because it doesn't provide a stun or a significant slow or anything like that. It provides silences, a slight slow, but it's it definitely feels like once again it's going to be largely on our 3-4 combo on the side of Na'Vi to be making things happen. Because it seemed like, as I think you said, Na'Vi very brute force with all their 5-man smokes. Like they want to get aggressive, and it felt like in some ways their heroes were limiting them. And it feels like once again they're very set on their off lane doing all the heavy lifting.
This ain't no snowball fight.
They do have a spirit this game though, so
True.
you can't expect no one to make some more rotations this game. So Silencer does have a lot of stuns to play with. Actually, everyone on his team has a stun, so this is a pretty good Silencer draft. And one of the things when I used to play a lot of Silencer that I looked for was having an instant initiative.
所以就需要这个沉默。他打得好是怎么打的？就是他一直耗的这个大鱼人的状态可能比较残，对吧？上不来，或者是他干脆就跟老奶奶这边 solo， 跟他名字一样 solo。然后这个大圣跟大鱼1v1啊，其实1v1大圣还没有那么大压力。但如果这两个人一起打，真的受不了。不过 TSA 是先学了一个电光石火。 因为之前看过这个组合，说老奶奶加大鱼人啊，那个输出真的看不懂，就有两级霹雳天手之后配个大鱼人，之前看的是船长嘛，就那种3、4级的船长啊，满血就直接被打死了。下路这边上来就是换了一波状态啊，这里 TB 一级学了个倒影。
Weaver is one of my few platinum heroes, and I play it on every position. Just a very strong hero this batch. Support, in the right game, it's good on carry, so people will pick it up, and it is a flex. But mainly it's a support, and it's great. Like, positioning doesn't matter as much. Like, you talk about the Silencer, one of his weaknesses is positioning, right?
2个芒果，然后下路呢，虽然说奈和这个沙王被耗血耗的厉害，但现在兵线要推进塔了。这蚂蚁好凶。 缩地缩上来蹭2个，
И то же самое Каори делает. Как он чувствует, да, свой персонаж? То, что сейчас я где-то... Ну, какой противный вот этот жук такой.
Да.
Жучара.
Ну, у кого из минусов не будет такого героя, да, который как Виверна, он играл на ней, например, на ДДЦ или Бейна, который может жестко подсейвить, только с появлением Аганима уже. Но Битюна больно, конечно, там вот печенька стан, это классика жанра. Это напоминает немного страту под виспа на селедке.
Неприятно здесь Манкингу стоит. Потому что он Сайленсером, знаешь, хочется все-таки иметь вот с Манки Кингом кого-то вот из серии. Да то же самое Snapfire, да, вот когда ты просто можешь настрелять нормально, еще и минус армор неплохой дать, там и печеньки продолжить. В общем,
здесь идеология
Сайленсера здесь на лайне.
У Нави в том, что из замедления, то, что настакивает палку, да, Манки Кинг, но с другой стороны даблстан. Любой даблстан на лайне является просто ультра-опишным, он почти всегда выигрывает лайн или стоит его 50 на 50, тут неважно. И потенциал для киллов всегда имеется. И поэтому линия селедка бабка, она, конечно, ультра сложная.
Очень хорошо звонят здесь, ой, как хорошо говорит.
Минус
да, фестблад для Лайтлеса. Что ж такое, Илюха здесь, ну, прекрасно понимал, что сзади уже Вивер подходит, можно было спокойно отходить в фрейм своего тавера, но почему-то не сделал этого.
Ну, надеюсь, что ради интриги у нас Нави не словили тильтугу, потому что все возможно.
Ну, это лаверды был очень жесткий. Фьюзблад теперь в другую сторону.
Да.
И ФБ для вот то, что в первой позиции, а первая позиция это ТБ, вот это самое неприятное, да, что этот парень еще быстрее получит этот сноубольчик.
Благо, Лоха не просто так потратил собственную жизнь, но еще и это пошел с нами, забудил бутылку для шторма. Все правильно сделал.
Говорит, тут соло
в порядке был.
У героев прекрасно понимаю, что Леон только идет. Сейчас можно, кстати, попытаться
подкоп на подкоп. Ну тут далековато было Лоха, не застакались немножко генерал.
На фласку сейчас не пей, да.
Четверкой.
После будет сразу моментально. Вот проблемы здесь у Манки Кинга начинаются, потому что, да, вроде у него там неплохо все по фарму, вроде крипы есть, но
опять же, сайленсер. Вот эта проблема в сайленсере, то, что этот парень ему никак не помогает вообще на лайне, ты с ним не хочешь. Ты хочешь линию доминировать с Манки Кингом, а ты с этим сайленсером как бы, ну, проседаешь серьезно.
Да, так и есть. Ну, тут дело не только в сале, да, опять же, мы понимаем, что против них слишком сильный лайн стоит.
Ну, нет, в сале дело, именно в сале.
Okay.
Ну, слабый герой, очень слабый, ты ничего не делаешь с этим героем. Ну, посмотри, вот он по крипам, 19 на 5, слабдар, в общем, 15 на 4 Манки Кинг, и опять же, ты им даешь полный фрифарм, сейчас какие-то там доезжают стики, ПТшки, капли, да, и они, чем больше левел получают, тем хуже тебе стоит, соответственно.
Да. Ставится тут в центре, кто успеет первый забрать его. Опа, у генерала все хорошо получилось, в центре у него стоял в лесу, подлецкий коварь прямо ему в лицо.
В общем, прямая дорога у Манки Кинга будет куда? Правильно, в леса.
Да.
Эту крипа можно было знать, бывает на самом деле опасно. Так двигается.
В песках опасно, да, не стоит вообще туда ходить.
Ну, сейчас кулдаун будет на песке довольно-таки большой.
Так, пошел тут разнос Витюна. С другой стороны, Соло накидывает свои курсы против Гостика. Гостик будет в порядке.
Да, надо бежать. Бонус страйк.
Страйк? Есть? Нет? Да, отбивался.
Только что он кинул.
Окей. Так, на боссе тем временем Каори погибает. Генерал все-таки застакался вместе с Алох и Дэнсом. Ну, о чем мы говорили. Два стана на линии, это очень сильно. И у обеих команд имеется эти два стана на харде. Но One тем временем вынужден уходить. Мы помним, да, вот эти все разговоры о том, что сейчас мидл очень-очень прощает и дает очень много регена. Но вот на One приходится все-таки дойти до своей базы. Ничего он от этого не теряет. Все хорошо также и у Шисуя. Но One немножко переиграл его там буквально 200 голды.
Пока он сейчас будет сидеть около фонтана и тпшится, его Шисуя вот догонит. Вот, и все, они сравнялись. 2-300. Ночку нужно будет двигаться очень рано по лайнам, вот какую-нибудь боевую руну хорошую найти, постараться, по крайней мере, это сделать. На самом деле опасно сейчас вот так вот. Пытался сразу моментально так. Посты снизу. Каори хорошо это проконтролил. Вот это та самая боевая руна, это минус Алоха. Да, она сразу моментально телепорт делает, все грамотно. Грамотное решение, но опять же, фри фар для ТБ. У Манки Кинга проблема на лайне, да, потому что его постоянно напрягают. ТБ стоит без каких-либо проблем. Он фармит. Вот, 3000 против, 600 голды уже летит, да, первая позиция команды Нави.
Так, лед у нас от Нуна, прямиком по Гостику. Это говорил о том, что да, нужно пораньше гангать, и ты полностью прав в этом вопросе. Нави с тобой согласны. Но, опять же, да, у нас Штормспики тратит время, у него... Он также тратит ресурсы, руны-то активные у него нету.
Знаешь, какой сейчас должен быть вопрос? Да. Где мисс?
Yes.
Где мисс?
Where is miss?
То, что вот у тебя стоит вард, вот, который, наверное, только что поставил, наверное, до похода Шторма на верхнюю руну. И нужно было сказать, что он, наверное, Шторм ушел все-таки, потому что он пошел чекать верхнюю руну, Вивер забрал нижнюю, и, пол какой-то должен был быть.
Что вы считали, возможно, что в лед пошел Шторм?
Ну, все равно нужно быть осторожным.
Подкоп против Каори. Много дэмэджа в него вылетает, он, конечно же, уйдет.
Или он подходит, нужно быть осторожным. Или он хоть и третьего уровня, да, без хекса, там один все-таки дизейбл, но все равно довольно-таки опасно. Так, Алох хорошо здесь. Одну иллюзию съедает.
Одна, кстати, из причин, почему он пошел в моноберн.
Да, нет, по-любому. Там и шорт появится, там все будет. Опять же, ты против тебя играешь. Тут must-have это все.
Правда. Квапа тем временем 7-го левела. Sonic Wave в Шисую не хочет тратить никуда. Террорблейд на топ-1 на Творсе, друзья, на 8-й минуте. У него 3600. То есть Леон вместе с Сэнкингом ничего не сделали. Хотя мы по дефолту, да, во время аналитики, в обсуждении лайнов говорим о том, что Террорблейд один из героев, которому очень плохо стоится против Сэнкинга, да. То есть ты должен вроде его задоминировать. Но ничего подобного не произошло. У Сэнкинга вообще нет ничего. У него 2600, 2700 также у Гостика, но при этом Террорблейд вообще в полном фрифарме. Он в таком кайфе сейчас.
Минус Леон, никуда он отсюда уже не денется. Квапе надо киллать, оставить, только просто добьет его. Не будет ману тратить лишним. Все грамотно. Хорошо подловили. Опять же, Манкинга дела нормализуются. Опять же, из-за того, что вот с Лардар ушел лесать, фёстер. Активную доту играть. И вот это очень важно сейчас зафармить Шторму. Здесь вот это все.
Я думаю, что Каори появился именно в команде первого дивизиона, да, потому что мы понимаем, какой выбор там касаясь не был, его просто не заметили, если он играл все это время во втором диве. Вот здесь он может себя демонстрировать во всей красе, и пока его игры очень-очень хороши. Так что он на Вивере будет способен продемонстрировать в этой карте, пока генерал на фрифарме на боте, потому что, опять же, Террорблейд просто ушел. Каори оставляет за собой их распачки крипов, чтобы получить себе экспу, получить себе колду дополнительную. Очень комфортно играется, да, Вивером, если у тебя сейфлейнер, Террорблейд или подобный герой, который рано уходит в леса.
Ну, Шторм с ДДХой все грамотно делает. Соларинг себе уже взял. Сейчас, наверное, еще одну пачку под это дабл дэмэдж зафармит. Можно какой-то выход сделать. Там, кстати, Квапа на нижнем лайне. Опасно она там действует. Идет в лес вообще чекать. Шторм... Да.
А что, ну а продолжение-то какое будет? Никакого. Лекаут просто и все.
А куда? Куда дальше? А там Сенкинг подходит, там можно капнуть. А можно капнуть.
Рейнджи не хватает совсем. Там один первый левел форстрайк еще, кроме этого. И эпицентр раскастовка пошла от генерала. В кого? В Каоре, серьезно, ну это вообще не цель. Ни для кого, мало того, таймлапс присутствовал, еще и Шисуи со спины дает кортик. Там тем временем Слардар у нас погиб от Солоча.
Нельзя дальше бежать, потому что Шторма огромное количество маны, по-любому будет какой-то размен. Да, тут неплохой выход был. Тут Витюнчик вместе... Ну, надо наверх стянуться, на самом деле, имперцем. Вот это главная цель, которая на ваших экранах сейчас в данный момент. Ну, сейчас можно хорошо минусовать, опять же, под Слардара, да, ты его будешь прекрасно видеть. Ни на какие ели там он от тебя не уйдет.
Довольно легкая цель при этом всем, да?
Да, под Квапу то же самое, просто один хороший телепорт. И килл. Опять же, ну, Sonic Wave просто еще не был заюзан ни разу.
Суи его халдит, да, солит свой Sonic Wave. Игра у нас примерно такая же по количеству киллов, как и предыдущая карта, но сценарий немного более агрессивный. То есть у нас есть заход от Шторма на топ, сейчас заход от Квапы на топ.
И видит, кстати,
спустя несколько минут.
Видит Манки Кинга. Ну и видит здесь Шисуя. Да, все, Манки Кинг просто уходит здесь.
Надо уходить на Витюну.
Видит на елку.
Кто прекрасно понимает. Игре команды Нави отходит в леса. Свой собственный там его сканит, кстати. Скан выдал Витюна, но заходить на него уже слишком опасно. Это лоу-граунд. Или будет ресмок?
Они сами просто отходят, да, там что-то... Большая
ресмок.
Большая стяжка.
Или нет?
Да, я думаю, еще разочек надо, может будет попробовать. Опять же, без ТБ куда-то сходить. Вот у нас смачок сейчас. Ну, потому что они, почему они все на своем треугольнике собрали, ждут какого-то выпада от Нави, либо сами. Ну, на самом деле он опасно так на лайн вернулся. Да. Вообще, ну, 5 героев не видит. Он просто здесь фармит. На самом деле, как-то, ну, очень странно.
Ну, с другой стороны, он понимает то, что для регруппировки нужно какое-то время.
Не, ну, тут могли бы просто в кустах где-то стоять, ребята. Плюс Квапа инвиз. Опять же, не стоит помнить об этом. Пока пассивный. Пока пассивная империя играет, опять же, фармят свой ТБ, но опять же...
А куда им торопиться? У них Терблейд.
Ну, там Манки Кинг. Я тебе так могу сказать, что Манки Кинг не слабее этого Терблейда в лете. В арене МК очень сильный. Опять же, если будет какое-то преимущество, он возьмет там Аегис, да, или какой-нибудь решашат, заход на Трампу, это будет суицид. Сразу. Для всех.
Заход от Шторма там тем временем на Каоре. Каоре ловит после таймлапса.
И видит его.
Пошел ультимейт от TSA. Глобал ответный сразу же против Морти Меркиса Соло. Делает эпауту. Налик не получится уйти.
Не успевает, опять же, ульту. Не стал ждать.
Как там красиво летит скрим.
Давай. И
путь.
И с 3 хп пойдем.
Не. Он сбил рейндроп. Неприятно. Генерал тем временем получает себе блинк, и это важнейший артефакт. Опять же, мы уже говорили о том, что Нави играют первым номером здесь по своему драфту.
Таймлапса нет, это минус Каори.
Да, и ничего страшного. Загулял немножко, бывает. Жикучок, опа, а это Sonic Wave, направленный на фарм Аншей, который здесь будет.
Добить Солоча.
Добить его,
добить. Ништяк.
Илюха только ради этого, возможно, в Нави пошел.
Так, где Сенкинг? Сенкинг, рядышком. Хорошо, успевает здесь, по-моему. Это Вортекс, по-моему, кулдаун не был, потому что он был присосать вот здесь Шторм. А вот Лоху можно было бы здесь забирать. Просто быстренько, но боятся уже генерала, который с даггером. Вроде как, да, с даггером. Гена.
Да. Гена с даггером. Тут вопрос в том, что наконец-таки сносится добра. Да, то есть мы видели ситуацию на предыдущей карте, где к 16 минуте не был снесен ни один тавр. Здесь вышка у имперцев на боте должна сейчас пострадать. То же самое касается, в принципе, и топа.
Ну, тоже время позднее уже, как бы, да? 14 минут началось. Ну, того страдает, да. Манки подбивает, ну и вот ответка сразу моментальная от Каори.
Но мы видим, что команда полностью игнорирует таймеры выхода катапульт, согласись. То есть мы не видим какого-либо сосредоточения агрессии на 5-й, на 10-й минуте, на 15-й конкретно, да? То есть как будто бы их не существует.
Папа тут забирает этот тавр. Так, Чизор сейчас будет отыгрывать, ну, как-то у него фарму все, да, вот сейчас к нему летит один Обливион. В принципе, должен добивать уже второй, где он там, да, по фарму, в принципе, находится в топе. Делит как раз-таки с Манки Кингом. Ну, Шторм чуть просел. Слардар здесь, вот с даггером, ну, сейчас смог нужно реализовывать под этот даггер, прекрасно понимает, что вот этот таймер в 14 минуте, и вот куда-то под тир-1, Там вот нужно повоевать. Опять же...
Тайминг глобала надо использовать, да? У Нави его нету в данный момент, и это хорошее время для того, чтобы добить.
Ну и Соник Вейва нет.
Соник Вейва тоже нет, из минусов. Показывает нам, что ведь он собрал Майл первым артефактом. Тайминг, опять же, оптимальный просто по той причине, что обычно собирается еще и сабля до этого момента.
Шторм контролит все руны. Вот это огромнейший плюс для Нави. То, что вот эти все активные руны, дабл дэмэдж, да, вот единственный инвиз, который забрал, наверное, последний раз Квапа. А так вот эти все регены, еще сейчас, сказать, руны волшебства Некс появится. Это вообще будет неприятно, да, для Шторма самая, наверное, крутая руна.
Ну, Лайтлс реально вебка полностью отображает его никнейм. Отсутствие света. Светный. Вот сидит, у него даже лампочки нету. Бывает. Битюн.
Атака. Ну, глобал есть. Драться сейчас имперцам нереально. Опять же, потому что Глобал, Шторм и Сенкинг, они втроем выигрывают драку. Поэтому халявы 201 отдают. Опять же, бабка не сможет кастить ничего, да? Слабдар ворвется, сразу моментально получает Глобал, его убивают там, под какой-то бонус страйк или под коп Сенкинг. В общем, тут просто сейчас будет додж всех драк от Империи до получения своих заветных артефактов. Опять же, это либо какие-то пикофы с Орчида будет, да, на Квапе, вот она, кажется, Орчид получила, либо просто будет доджить до Блокинбар.
Гостик рядом с ним, генерал не успевает, подкоп дать генерал, там анимация, и Гостик красава, среагировал на блинкауте, тем временем Каори со спины нападает на Лоху Дэнса, сверху Мортимер Кисес байтит Мортимер Кисесом на глобал, по факту у нас TSA и взрывают TSA, конечно же, в размен на Лоху Дэнса. Генерал все еще в песках, готов, в принципе, влететь куда захочешь. Квапы хоть и Орчит, но она уже его сдала на Шторм Спирит, и, соответственно, теперь уже Лайтлсу будет очень сложно помочь. Хотя если хоть какая-то контратака, так Гостик дает свои станы. Лайтлс, а ты что? На Гену! Соник Вейв сверху кричит все это варенье от Витюна. Лайтлс погибает.
Надо добивать, возвращаться, на самом деле. У Нуны нет маны. Не знаю, почему они не захотели обратно идти. Да-да-да, сейчас будут пытаться на Нуну прыгать. Я думаю, Квапа должна...
Квапа, Орчит, да, есть. Орчит нажимается. Ботик.
Минус Нун.
Или нет? Нет, Ботик зацепил, да.
Пошел. Витюна. На самом деле тоже страдает. Еще и Алоха может стрелять, но... хорошая драка. Просто Сандер спас всю ситуацию сейчас для Империи. Если бы не было этого Сандера... У него манта уже к этому времени была, по-моему, да?
Почему манта? Он же не собирает манту. Это же этот... Он собирает?
Не собирает, он манту.
Ничего себе. Во имя это пошло. Ну, я понимаю, что это глобал, да, я понимаю, что это контра глобалу, но сейчас...
Во-первых, старт артефактов, во-вторых, это статы, во-вторых, да, это контра глобалу, так. Теория.
Давайте досмотрим момент. И... Екс пошел.
Орчида нет. Тут минус Алоха, скорее всего, остается.
Ну, или нет. TC это нет Мортимер Кисес, он сразу же байтил там в самом начале файта. Так вот, давайте посмотрим на коэффициенты от Винлайн, верните нам их, пожалуйста. Там вроде как 1.5, да, на Империю 2.48 на Нави в этой карте, друзья. Вера сумасшедшая на Имперцев. Тем временем влет от Нуна. Взрывает Каори. Как же ты хорош!
Успевает, но не уйдет.
Все равно очень много времени выиграно. Выиграны ресурсы, мана, все остальное. Ничего страшного, погиб и погиб.
Разревилил, потратил всю ману на Шторме, опять же. Потом это 5-я позиция, да, Вивер. Да, у него там огромное количество, наверное, денег остается до, да, еще 3000 до Аганима, но все равно, как бы Каори выполняет свою роль. А Нави нормально. Вот им то, что сейчас и нужно. Опять же, вот эти вот какие-то определенные киллы искать, забирать объективы и больше территории занимать. Опять же, потому что у них сейчас супер мобильный вот этот драфт, где есть глобал, под него можно постоянно драться. Пока не появились БКБ там на Квапе, пока не появились Блокинбары на Террорблейде, постоянно нужно вот эту драку, срывать тайминги, выигрывать драки, собирать Рошанов.
Ты прав, Серег, здесь полностью именно план на КД. Глобала постоянно драться каждый раз. Эпицентр влет на Квапу под глобалом. Ее нечем спасти. Она точно погибает здесь.
Это очень, на самом деле, неразумное решение сейчас было просто так на Леона вроде.
Это ошибаюсь.
И Гостик здесь тоже. Вот эти опять. Три Блокинбара здесь будет появляться. И Империя, на самом деле...
Лайтлс, нужно мать метаморфозу. Что происходит? Они говорят, у них нет глобала. Давайте закинем им Мортимер Кисесы под огнями. Витюнг погибает от одной бабки. Лоха Дэнс на лоу хп. Пытается уйти, у него это не получится. Генерал тем временем без подкопа пока что связывает No One. Вивера то слишком далеко зашел в своей разведке, но Лайтлс пока что у него есть метаморфоза. Пытается пробить тавер. Здесь фортификация. Нави, готовы ли они контраинициировать? Нет эпицентра.
Кинга не будет драться.
Очень мало чего.
Маны мало и нету эпицентра. Поэтому просто сейчас в обычный сплит уже должны поиграть. Да, тавер забирают без каких-либо вопросов. Грамотный, на самом деле, Эти позиционные решения от Империи, да? Опять же, Вивер, он бэкнулся, по-моему, как раз таки, чтобы подраться.
Не уверен. Но самое главное, что они реализовали отсутствие глобала, да? Как только они увидели, что глобала нет.
Нет, не байбэкнулся.
Бабка наконец-таки смогла разлетиться, и мы видели до этого TSA каждый раз затыкали, как только она нажимала ультимейт. Сейчас она просто дала весь дэмэдж Манки Кингу, у того нету никакого эскейпа пока что, никакого БКБ подобного и так далее. Там форстав на команде. Тем временем Манта ставил дабр, добилась на латлесе, и можно скади делать. Скади — это хорошо.
Просто все в максимальной статы. Тут нужно пережить исключительно вот как раз от ультимейт Сан Кинга плюс какой-то бёрн, да, вот того же самого Леона и так далее. Ну, опять же от глобала, да, там Манта какая-то спасет, поэтому...
Я бы на самом деле Шаль бы взял, если никто там не просит, потому что Шаль дает тебе, ладно, окей, вы скажете, Терраблейд типа не бьет с магией, да, но она дает тебе макрезист, а магия
нужен,
самое главное.
А там то, что минус 3 армора ему даст на его
вообще пофигу.
150 миллиардов армора, который у него есть.
А вот и чек с Атомохи Дэнса в лед отведен на арена, ровно там же, где была предыдущая, и уж здесь. Такой бёрст, который не дает шансов Ладису на то, чтобы остаться в живых. Ответка пошла от шестую, но дэмэдж слишком мало, конечно же. Зря, наверное, Sonic Wave был использован, не очень понятно, как не просчитал объем дэмэджа шестую. Кроме этого, сеть была очень далеко. Гостик добивает свое БКБ, все делает хорошо.
Гостик был рядом, тут, конечно, моментальная смерть была бы для всех Нави, потому что этот стан, который он дал бы там по большому количеству героев, которые рядом находились, там сразу моментально Сандра пошел бы. Он бы не вышел, ну, как бы...
А ты по поводу еще до смерти...
Да, он засейвил бы.
Не знаю, на самом деле сложно судить, потому что шторм издалека залетал, там реально же берста сумасшедшее количество налетало.
Ну да, ультимейт ну, скорее сюда не хватило, он там 1000, по-моему, 700 или 800 хп всего лишь у ТБ.
Мне тоже кажется. Один из лучших выходов Нави вообще за всю историю пока что этого клуба. Ну, в смысле, этого состава.
2009-го.
С 2009-го, да. Так, пошел у нас стан по Солочам. Тут нагибает. Минус сало.
Легко попытка вставить варды. Получается где-то их хватнуть, там центрюхи, проверить вражеские. Ну, опять же, такая же равненькая игра, да, как была у нас на первой карте, где тут эти качели, 1000 туда, 2 туда. В общем, очень-очень все ровненько происходит.
Ну, наступление на TSA. Данный от Готика пока не особо роляет Сайленс.
Ну, моментальный упор, что-то Сайленса ночик собрал первым артефактом, поэтому без каких-либо проблем сейчас тут должен уходить. Дополнительно какого-то дизейбла нет, да, вот единственное, ну, 2 дизейбла, наверное, есть, это Орчит и после этого стан Слардара. Стан Слардара был задоджен, а Орчит его, все, там тебе остальное не страшно. Ну, печенька, ну, это такое себе удовольствие, конечно. Так, что по скаде у нас? Там 3, по-моему, 1000 денег у нас за ВТБ. Сволочь тут опять приходит в вражеский лес.
Мог от Нави.
Ну, опять пиков. Опять нужно врываться, пока нет блокинбара. Потому что Ладар фармит БКБ, ТБ фармит БКБ, Квапа фармит... А, нет, ТБ фармит себе статы, и 2 человека фармят БКБ. Что это Манта ставил. И когда эти БКБшки появятся, Нави будет здесь.
Кори просто на префайре дает свой таймлапс. Правда, это все еще проблема может быть, если генерал... Нет, никакого продолжения нападения от Нави не случилось.
Тунчику надо вот в такие мувы все-таки иметь какой-то даст, чтобы врываться. Тут Вивером будет напрягать.
Так, нашли селедку гости. Когда фармил он БКБ успел, нет? Или... Это супер важно сейчас.
Дальше TCA. Маны нету Нуна.
Не дофармил.
Тут не знаю. Ну, вот Леон подходит. Леон подходит.
Добьют. Должен сказать. Никто сейвить не может. За него драться не будут. Бабка хоть и супер плотная, еще и медалька у нее Солар. В убой-точном Каоре сплитпушит. Вы сами понимаете, да, что такое? 5 Вивер на сплитпушит 2 вышки. На 23-й минуте.
Давит и ловит. Очень активно. Но Нави, знаешь, они сейчас, мне кажется, в своей среде. Вот играть этим первым номером, как там Солоч, да, привык, Нунчик привык.
Virtus.pro Dota.
Да, Virtus.pro Dota. И Нави так, в принципе, играли всегда в активную доту. Эти ребята тоже там, да, и Витюн, и Генерал, они это все умеют делать, поэтому без каких-либо проблем. В общем... Такая СНГ активность у нас происходит.
На СНГ DPC, СНГ активности. Вы думали, что мы тут смотрим? А вот. Говорим. Обходит.
Малохай все читает.
Да. Лайтнес говорит: парни, у меня так много денег, я готов драться. Давайте мы что-нибудь замутим. У него полскади. Я на его месте на самом деле продолжил бы фармить. Ему дают, и как бы, ну, раздают, так надо действовать в целом. По фарму, чего бы нет, но, видимо, имперцы все-таки напряглись, хотят под смоком напасть, сделать какой-то соло-ганк, остановить развитие Нави по фарму. При этом всем по файту, то пока Нави-то явно смотрится сильнее до появления БКБшек, особенно на Гостике. На Гостике это БКБ супер важно, и его пока нет.
Так. Ну, Квапа с БКБ, это тоже очень важно, на самом деле, очень много дэмэджа он несет здесь. И вот этот врыв, который будет ревил, у нас произошел, Алоху видят.
И снова там же находит Террорблейда. Алоха, правда, получает на себя жуков ответы, и этот сварм его прибьет, уж точно.
Алоху здесь надо оставлять, да, и просто отходить.
А где вся команда? Что происходит?
Не получилось. Ну, команда не стала врываться, потому что King все-таки хочет с ультимейтом вырваться, он где-то там стоял, Шторм. Шторм не полетел, испугался Слардара, наверное, который тоже может по таймингам уже иметь плюс-минус БКБ. Сколько, кстати, у Слардара остается, потому что у Квапы уже появилась.
Да, у Манки Кинга появился ультина, и у Слардара там было, ну, около 300 голды, если не ошибаюсь, оставалось до БКБ, потому что когда убивали,
да,
у него там было
400.
Ну, надо добить. Я бы вообще стейки продал. Ну ладно, шучу, конечно.
Добьет. Самое приятное еще, что Империя, если вот делает какие-то такие выпады, да, если там Нави неудачно в смоках как-то выходит, они Рошана моментально забирают. Ну, жуки и коррозив, это все. Там ТБ, да. Это падает все там буквально секунд за 10, наверное.
Да и любой герой также падает. Мы понимаем, арморная страта под Террорблейда работает в лейте очень-очень сильно.
Сайленсер все. Сайленсер сейчас вот становится юзлов. Ой, какая поясенка сейчас у Империи? Какая поясенка Империи? Просто что-то...
Развалить Сола, чекает лицом, хороший заход, дальше Су, не дадут ему нажать БКБ, мгновенно вырубают, тут байбека нету, байбека нету, и надо идти на Рошана по-хорошему Нави.
Какая хорошая поясенка.
Байтить либо байбек, либо... У всех кроме... Да, ты был прав. Там правда очень-очень хорошо, там...
Сверху ты стоишь на хайграунде, под вардом, а он просто на руне. Если бы он в рошпите где-то стоял...
В шахматном порядке стояли парни. Тетенько, полукругом. И искать Доси. Все-таки доделан Лайдлсом. Все еще не БКБ. До БКБ, возможно, Террорблейду не стоит ничего делать.
Смотрим, как эта драка будет проходить. Опять же, он может всегда там вторым темпом зайти в драку. Ну, в первых рядах будет Квапа, в первых рядах будет у тебя Слардар, да, Б где-то там с подветерной должен это все убивать. Скади есть, да, ну, БКБ следующий артефакт должен быть, потому что слишком много магии, и ты просто можешь не успеть ничего нажать. Тебе там пару-тройку дизейблов дадут. И берста очень много, на самом деле. С бондл страйка можно получить, и свингера, да, и, опять же, толчки-то от эпицентра очень мощно заходят.
26-я минута. Пока ничего не понятно, друзья. В этой карте, в первой карте, в принципе, к этому моменту тоже было не очень ясно, кто победит. Тем временем 1.87 на 1.87, полностью 50
на эту карту.
И селедка зафармила БКБ, и теперь Империя имеет 2 БКБ, очень хочет драться, очень хочет показывать, на что она способна. Шисуи палец на миде. Это байт, если что, потому что до этого Шисуи также погибал, и Нави такие, интересно.
Нави сейчас на хайграунде. Нави сейчас... Ну, Шисуи не надо так подставляться, на самом деле, потому что его могут, опять же, бестануть очень хорошо. У него 2000 хп. Так, нападение.
Ну, Глобал хорошо работает, с другой стороны БКБшки, но хексы, контроль, все на Шисуи, он не прожал БКБ, когда влетел. Эта ошибка стоит ему жизни и стоит вполне вероятно всей драки для Империи. И самое главное, тайминга на метаморфозу, потому что Лайтлесса еще нереальная КД, а сейчас реализовать он ничего не сможет. Серьезно, кроме этого, погибает, и Нави совершенно спокойно могут делать все, что хотят на этой карте. Забирать Рошана.
Сейчас к Шисуи очень много вопросов, на самом деле. Если бы он прожимал БКБ, моментально умирал бы Шторм.
Да.
Не знаю, там что у него по байбеку, он, скорее всего, выкупился, если бы этот байбек был. Но, опять же, они драку...
Залили просто из-за Квапы.
Да, из-за непрожатого БКБ. Это минус 2 героя, это минус Рошан, это Аегис, это небольшое преимущество Нави.
Там здесь все круто таймил, ждал, когда Глобал закончится, потом он был выдать еще и Мортимер Китус.
Я сейчас знаю, что Квапа будет артефактом собирать.
Линку?
Да.
Да, я согласен. Линку или Айон, и то, и другое было бы хорошо.
Линка
налил Лотус какой-нибудь крайний, но это такое себе, не поможет.
ТП, да, в Блокенбар, Огр Клапа уже есть, купил, остается 2 слота на свиток, считайте, да.
Да, напряженная была драка у нас, но мы видим то, что Нави отыграли от ошибки мидера команды противника, и имперцы теряют еще и Каори. Да, Фингер даже
заряды, сколько зарядиков уже, наверное, 2-3 имеется.
А нам не покажут.
Там мы попросим.
Здесь сколько угодно, проблема лишь в том, что здесь еще и погибает генерал или нет. Соник, вкусно, очень вкусно. Генерал погибает, но Налан пытается ответочку дать, Шисуи прожал БКБ и уходит с ДНК. Хороший контрганк от имперцев. Но потратили 2 БКБ, причем, по-моему, 8-секундных. Или в случае... Нет, 9-секундная БКБ Квапа потратила, и еще 8-секундная потратил Слардар. Неплохой размер для Нави. Размен, точнее.
Санкинг уже такой толстый довольно, да? На него очень много ресурсов потратили. Не забываем, что там еще Манки Кинг в арене будет. И он, Манкинг вот не проиграет с этому ТБ, прям салат в лейте. На самом деле он очень толстый в этой арене. И что он там ТБ тяжело пробивает, что его, он, ТБ его тоже тяжело пробивает. Поэтому даже Не стоит говорить, что это в одну калитку будет замес.
Ну, не знаю. Я не верю. Здесь вводит потенциал у Нави такого объема. Конечно, Шторм Спирит может тоже разыграться очень жестко. Да, Манки Кинг и его арена, это
Манки Кинг в лейте перебивает огромное количество. Ну, допустим, Манки Кинг сильнее Медузы в лейте. Он перебьет Медузу просто салат без каких-либо вопросов. Да представь, Медуза, да?
Not much good's happening to Radiant's bottom tower.
Сильный парень этот. Да, если его будет там бить 5 иллюзий, и главный ТБ этим иллюзиям никто ничего делать не будет, то да, там трудно будет Манки Кингу. А если 1 на 1 они будут биться, то Манки Кинг, наверное, даже...
Нам учитывая ультимейт Сардара с минус армором, соответственно, Люш, Шредер, Солар, этот...
Да, все в одного Манки Кинга это будет залито.
Да. Гости, плёт, хорошо, погнали. Глобал ответный от Нави. Леха подходит, дает немножко, добавляет. Ну что ж, Витюн. Алексею также надо уходить.
Опасно было, на самом деле, Витюнчик. Так, падение.
Ну, такое себе это раскатится с легкостью. Нужен был какой-то контроль против Нуна. Ультимейт, чем метаморфоза была потрачена. И теперь просто Нави откатит оппонента и его мету. Лайтес, конечно, что-то как-то здесь не доиграл. Ожидал, что у него больше контроля будет.
Контроля вообще нет. Кроме Слардара, хорошего контроля просто нет. Нужно что-то... Ну, хексы нужно собирать. На квапе этот хекс must have просто, чтобы эти драки начинать. Показывать нам соотношение двух мидеров, да, как они, ну, плюс-минус ровненько, да, то туда-сюда, сюда. И качельки небольшие, но там, ну, чуть-чуть впереди.
Квапа больше погибает.
Да, очень много она именно в ненужных местах умерла. Квапа будет собирать Шиву. Взяла себе плейтмейл. И вот.
Взял там линка, да. Ну, он сейчас флапает, БКБ. Вот это называется БКБ, друзья.
Это называется реакция.
Это
и сразу.
Не понажимал пару раз, а теперь нажимаем. Хорошо, сыграл.
Сейчас не подраться, опять же. У тебя нет ни метаморфозы, у тебя нет ни блокенбара на Queen of Pain. Сейчас драка в одну калитку будет.
Потому Нави хотят себе найти какое-то открытие на драку.
Да, пытается пикофнуть.
Получается.
Вот нам показывает как раз таки глобал 39, на метаморфоза 90 и БКБшка, соответственно, 45 секунд.
Это врата будем сносить под Даегисом, уважаемые Нави? Еще минуты 30 есть. Вполне вероятно, стоит реализовать.
Шилу приятно будет, на самом деле. Хорошо, здесь она будет заходить, но опять же тоже хотелось бы какой-то хекс. Волы все стандартно, как и на прошлой карте. Есть и форстаф и даггер. Славдар, вот чуть он, по-моему, проседает по левелу 15, что ли, он бегает. Да, это проблема, на самом деле, этого героя. Нужно как-то моментально сбрить одного героя имперцем. А кто этот герой? Ну, что-то из серии Леона. Он очень много делает, он хексит.
Там сзади стоит.
А лучше Сайленс. Скади. На короле обезьян. Нучка уже ничего не боится. С Айгисом. 35 секунд. Пытается реализовать его.
Пошел хекс у нас на Лайтлеса, Глобал туда же, и Лайтлес посередине арены. Боже мой, это повторение ровно такой же ситуации, которая была у нас на топе. Также Лайтлеса убивали через все кнопки, которые имеются у Нави, и у них это получается сделать еще один фраг. И это трипл килл.
И сейчас, знаешь, какая проблема? У Ривера вроде есть Аганим, но у него нету того, что может его выпустить из глобала, чтобы он прожал этот Аганим.
Да. Ну, лотус типа нужно какой-нибудь.
Да,
желательно.
серия лотус, понятное дело, это не ул. Что-то такое. Ну, и блокинбаров все что фармить. Так,
Мортимер Кисс вроде как пошел, еще и шестую, хочет пробить Тютюна, но, честно говоря, выглядит как будто бы у него не хватает никакого дэмэджа вообще. Но откуда бы он, в принципе, и взялся бы, только один шестую живой. Под Мортимер Кисс, очевидно, это не работает. Ну, он продолжает добивать своих оппонентов, еще и минус мидер. Команда Империя. И что-то как-то подтекли у нас имперцы. Не получается.
Не могут напасть. Они не могут напасть нормально. Вот как раз, чтобы два героя хорошо ворвались.
Кто делает бабка?
Не знаю, просто идет.
Ага, это таймлапс.
Это таймлапс. Привет. Нет уже глобала. Надо нападать. Надо нападать. Делать.
Обязательно. Гостик, влет, стан, Бору страйк. Гостик ищет дальше, хочет дальше, но... Его, во-первых, видно, потому что он повесил амплифайн на лотус. Ну или коррозив хейс, как вам больше нравится.
Надо, что порвались Слардар, Квапа одновременно, стерли одного героя. Вот хороший стан, что там ТБшка подошел, да. В общем, ну, такого нет. Там печеньку продолжить, как-то это все дать. В общем, не получается пока синхронно делать, потому что либо Квапа врывается, Славдара нет рядом, либо со Славдара врывается, не хватает дэмэджа, да, который Квапа там может дать Соник Вейва.
Каждый раз Natus просто вне позиционки, когда врыв идет со стороны Империи. То есть у тебя 20 тысяч нетворса в героя, который ни разу нормально не ударил. Ни по кому.
Самая, короче, ключевая фигура сейчас у Империи — это Вивер с его контролем над Сайленсом. Вот что он собирает? Да, он собирает себе тот самый Лотус, да, чтобы этот глобал снять.
Но он не появится у него рано.
Сколько денег у него было?
0.
Да, 3 сотни. 3 сотни это мало.
3 сотни это мало.
3 сотни это мало.
Казалось бы.
Так, Солява. Хороший пацан, опять Империя, хороший.
Глобал есть, глобал нажимается на Вена, тем временем Лоха погибает под метаморфозой, много дэмэджа от Латоса по Витину. Тот раскрывает свою арену, Борус Страйк, генерал, пробивает шестую, отличный таймлапс от Каори. По квапе, сдулочка просто шикарная против уже Витина. Погибает еще и Нун, который, да, отсюда, скорее всего, никуда не убегает или живет до конца, хилится. Каори влетает, месяц шестую, минус что-то. Боже мой, Нави!
Как они это делают? И сразу вверх ломать, потому что 90 секунд без байбека у нас будет шторм.
Да, да.
Это...
Но мета скоро заканчивается, надо ее реализовать максимально быстро.
То же самое у Нави было на прошлой карте.
Certification. Эпицентр пошел. Пробивает Каори, Каори погибает. Соответственно, не будет уже таймлапса. Станы неплохие от Гостика. Генерал на пол хп пытается мансить. Витюн с байбека пробивает Гостика. Гостик в таверне, но с другой стороны можно еще подраться на развороте. Нави пытается чейзить своего оппонента. Подкоп неплохие от генерала против папы. Минус шестую. Байбек реализован от Нави, но, наверное, не особо сильно реализован в таком объеме, да, которым хотелось бы взять, то, что байбеков было 3, да, 3.
Все вернули?
2.
Все вернули себе ребята из Нави. Хоть этим байбеком. Они подруинили себе чуть экономику, но опять же, да, ситуация равная. 2000. Ничего Нави не ведут. Хотя они так доминируют, хотя они постоянно выигрывают каждую драку. У ТБ очень много, опять же, да. На слот он впереди этого Манки Кинга. На 5000 ведет. Сейчас еще как раз пику дофармит, но...
Наконец-то мы увидели, что такое Террорблейд.
Если такую драку не выиграть, то уж извините. Он стоит на хайграунде, он сделал форму, нажал иллюзию, команда ставил БКБ, начал стрелять, туда ворвался Лардар, ультимейт квапы, все было для него, чтобы он эту драку выиграл. Если бы он эту проиграл, ну там уже извините.
Лоха. Вот спайдерлексами, готов пойти.
Его сейчас убьют.
Кого он найдет? Он пошел просто баунти забрал? Лол?
Он просто пришел, забрал баунти, говорит, счастливо наберет.
Илюха чисто на кайфе, на стерфе.
Чувствует игру. Для Коробкина. Блефует как.
Ну там блинк форсап у него был, конечно, может быть, и не смогли бы его забрать, если напали.
Чисто на префлопе блефанул и нормально.
Да. Но что у нас есть у Террорблейда? Вот вернулся у него метаморфоза, потому что, по-моему, когда уже закончился. Шестую, Каори, как обычно, просто красавчик. В предыдущей драке, напомню, он возвращал шестую. И шестую, по-моему, там погибал, да, Квапы там лоу хп уже было, и его все-таки спасли. Тот успел нажать еще и Sonic Wave после таймлапса, таким образом приговорив Витюна.
Виверу нужно, мне кажется, дать какой-то спейс для фарма, потому что он ключ сейчас к победе в Империи. Ему нужен обязательно этот Лотус, и ему нужно возвращать весь демедж, который в ТБ, да.
Из преисподня. Так.
Ну, ТБ убьют. Там 3000 хп, которые у ТБ, мы уже не раз видели, что это не проблема для Нави. Опять же, берстануть его со всех обилок. Опа, хороший артефакт. Я, наверное, бы на месте ТБ, вместо Элскин, по-моему, тоже у ТБшки валяется. Вот этот аскетик я бы забрал бы. Потому что он...
Да, шапка топовая.
Да, вот забирает себе.
Шапка топовая, особенно если мы говорим о том, что Нави правда в него скидывают все спылы, которые...
Халява, если Нави сейчас это проворонят...
Не успеют, они вернутся, они придут.
Они могут проворонить.
Они не проворонят.
Не читают вообще ничего. Нет, читают. Все
хорошо, все. Они...
Я тебе говорю.
Тильт у меня сейчас
там 7-10 секунд вообще потолок, чтобы Варшан забрать.
Там минус арморы дикие, Лилшедер, медали вместе с жуками.
А вот теперь проблема.
Смоки. Нажать?
Смоки забрать.
Нажать, нет?
Смоки нажать, руну волшебства забрать и в атаку. Кстати, у Снэпки Лотус, если на Вивера успеет накинуть, не на себя, именно на Вивера надо, чтобы они вместе рядом тусовались, то все хорошо будет Империя именно в драке.
Но проблема в том, что ты можешь не выловить Вивера в позиционке. Все-таки, Вивер такой герой, который не очень хочет стоять на бэклайне.
Хотят ворваться прям...
Эпицентр от Гены? Или что это такое? ПКП от Гостика. У него сбили блинкдаггер, что ли, или что? Да, видимо, ему сбили блинкдаггер.
Как же Алоха просто в соло разводит команду Империи? Они его боятся, не знаю. Пошел руну забрал, пошел просто сейчас соло ворвался во всех, заставил поражать БКБ. Все, нормальная ситуация?
Ну, Илюха просто гений. Тут. Вопросы есть?
Так, Лайтлесс.
А ее на квапе. Вот это уже серьезно. Это уже решение вопроса.
Квапе. Сейчас ломает там тир 2 тавер. Хотят сделать какой-то врыв. Опять же, Манкинг. Ну, все рядышком. Все рядышком. Прекрасно понимают, где находится у нас... Дюрцы.
Как же хочется ему.
Да. Форма сейчас кончится.
Кстати, Кэп.
Под окончании формы будет драка.
Это что за фингер? Шестой говорит, чё? Что происходит? Давайте, ладно, я БКБ нажал, короче, сваливаем отсюда эпицентр. Вместе с Бурустрайком можно вкастовать. Генерал готов летать, влетает, пытает шестую быстро наказать. И у них это получается. Они пробиваются, это возможно. Кроме того, палка залетела еще и на Каори, который, соответственно, не смог нажать таймлапс. Вау. Нави прямо, ну я не знаю, на кончиках пальцев.
Под окончание формы, да, хорошо зашли. Да, не на кончиках пальцев, просто, ну, цепанули неплохо. И сейчас можно мидл забрать. Нет байбеков у квапы, форма в кулдауне, да, 90 секунд. Прекрасно это знаешь. С ультимейтом, наверное, скорее всего, бабка будет отбиваться, как-то пытаться крипов.
Где байбеки? Извините меня за этот вопрос, но что случилось с ними?
Так, Аганим на ТБ, тоже приятно.
Байбек треба. Так, кстати, Аганим. Аганим это хорошо. Аганим это сильно против Манки Кинга.
Так, снизу заходит у нас Нави.
И против Шторма, конечно же, потому что ты можешь просто дать ему контроль.
МК сейчас сильный, с бабочкой.
Да. МКБ-то нету.
Да, ТБшка сейчас будет очень тяжко пробивать. Эти лотусы постоянные.
Ну и уточним, что 26-й левел лейтенант против 22-го Утерблейда. Это классическая тема, что ТП у нас фармит иллюзиями. Они самим собой, соответственно, не весь экспириенс впитывает с карты.
Да, сейчас еще Мьёлнир все соберет, тоже приятно, опять же, против иллюзии ТБ. Тут, конечно, какая-то заливочная, небольшая идет от Империи.
Да подожди. Напомню, что не Хаигис еще. 2 минуты, если что. И Империя все ресурсы имеет, чтобы сейчас подраться. Мета есть, остальное есть, можно играть.
Шосуй как-то очень, знаешь, вот неаккуратно действует.
Алоха! Да что ж ты делаешь-то ж?
И он еще отсюда идет.
Реально сваливает. Да. Там под эпицентром генерал может раскастовать. Анимация уменьшает, и генерал.
Какой же он гений.
Алоха? Да, Алоха чувствует себя замечательно с таким набором артефактов. Просто сваливает постоянно с форстафом, спайдерлексом и блинком.
Ребят, кто считает, что Алоха просто царь этой карты и царь блефа, плюсик в чат. Я не про покер.
Там он не настолько хорош, как здесь, в этой игре.
Там, да.
Так. Ну что, может смаканемся, может что-нибудь сделаем, может сыграем. Но я понимаю, что да, у противника там Аегис еще минуту. Через минуту Нави, скорее всего, захотят напасть. Хотят ли это время реализовать сами имперцы?
Очень напряженная серия.
Да жесткая дота вообще. Настолько вот прям вот... Ух, терпение парням, терпение. Реально нужно. Очень тяжело играть.
ТБХ на самом деле бегает так внутри чуть по минуту до окончания Икса.
Он отвалился быстро, зафокусил кого-то, байбек от него же, он может вернуться быстро. Шисует с Гостиком под БКБ. Убили Алоха, Алоха под байбеком. Витюн раскрывает свою арену на 300 километров. И Лайтлессу очень больно. Сандер хоть какой-нибудь нажать не нажимается, ничего. Там Сандер в КД вообще был Аегис, но ты теперь в мили-форме, уважаемый Лайтлесс. И что ты будешь делать посредине арены? Хикса и Пэла, палки сверху, все влетает Лайтлесса. Лайтлесс погибает и отправляется, наверное, вместе с Шисую, который также туда же забрел на 82 секунды. И Нави сейчас могут пойти просто в трон.
Это минус 2 стороны. Должно быть.
Yes.
Можно попытаться в трон идти. Ну, потому что у них нет. У них есть информация по байбеку только на Вивере.
Что, третьей карте быть?
Только на Вивере, но ТБ без формы. Это тоже большой вопрос. Могут и в трон пойти, если не испугаются. Были бы старые ВП Нави, они бы моментально уже в трон шли, без каких-либо вопросов, уверенные в себе ребята. А тут, походу, просто 2 стороны заберут, уйдут на свояси, подождут Рошана, да, вот уже Солоч бежит вниз, уже ломает там Соло ломает барак.
Сильно. На сайленсере,
Наша тавтология мощная всегда. Ну что, и
все, минус бараки на миде, минус бараки на боте.
4 тавра можно здесь. Мне нравится, знаешь, вот этот мини-эпицентрик заедет. Да, вот он бам.
Будут шарда с катом. Так, ну это 2 вышка у нас на топе стояла, поэтому Нави не смогли забрать ее так быстро, не смогли забрать топ бараки. Живитину весело, наверное. Нажимать на правую кнопку мышки.
МКшка сильный, 26 уровень, конечно.
Radiant's top tower is
бабочкой.
under attack.
Да, то, что МК
Dire fortified destruction.
сейчас вообще не пробивает.
Пошел от генерала под БКП, и что хочет генерал этим добиться? Просто отогнать.
Они
да?
его никак не пробьют.
Отзонить.
Вообще никак не пробьют с этой бабочкой.
Генерал в лесах, там, посмотрите на эти штормы, какой же радиус сумасшедшей метаморфоза. Пошла, нет, это не метаморфоза, это фир. И, честно говоря, этот фир вообще не работает. Походу его просто замнут до смерти. Боже, этот фингер, прилетающий за 3 километра от Алохи Дэнса. Люха казнит Лайтласа. И это GG. Байбека у Лайтласа нету, так что тут без вариантов. Да, поздравляем нас с третьей картой вообще. То есть, если команды хороши и молодцы, то мы с вами получаем максимальный уровень удовольствия просто от того, что мы выходим на третью карту, означает, что у нас будет еще больше крутой доты на сегодня.
Да, самое главное, что мы поздравляем Нави с первой победой, с первой карты, которую они забрали, и вполне возможно, что это будет разгон, будет буст по морали вообще, в принципе, да, и что они от этого будут отталкивать.
Посмотрим, что скажет по этому поводу наша аналитика.
Действительно, первая победа, она, но всего лишь в одной карте. Впереди еще остаток серии в виде третьей карты. И там
a way to enable him in fights. This fight isn't about Queen of Pain getting the best ult
Radiant
possible.
teams
This
turn to
fight is,
ban.
we want Terrorblade to hit and kill everyone, and he
Yeah.
just couldn't hit and kill everyone.
Getting some kind of like, I don't know, boring ass DK mid just to stun people for TB or just
Potentially,
so
yeah.
Puck with a Dream Coil or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Dire
Puck
teams
sounds
turn
good.
to ban.
Honestly,
He was banned, by the way. I
Okay.
remember, but just saying.
Yeah. That kind of idea of a hero.
Dire team
I'd
ban.
rather-
Radiant
Imagine their
teams
mid
turn
was
to
just like,
pick.
yeah, co-op. This looks like a, could be a fun co-op game.
Dire teams
Dire
turn
teams
Just go
to
listen to your
pick.
mid laner.
Like your theories, guys. I'm enjoying this.
Very good.
That orangutan kiss was really well timed with a Grimstroke, and if I was part of his animation. Oh, okay, you guys can't hear it. Sorry.
What the?
But the audience knows what I'm talking about, right?
I heard it from the. We have speakers, you know.
The Io Slardar is the start for Empire this time. What do you think of this combo? We haven't seen it, but theoretically pretty strong, right? Slardar can carry from the off
10
lane.
seconds
Well,
remaining.
This is a classic 3-game scenario where the teams have figured
5
out
seconds
things that
remaining.
they liked about their previous drops
Yeah.
and are running them again with confidence. Instead of seeing a last pick, counter pick Sand King, they're saying, well, I think it was pretty good. Let's just do it again. but
With a
better."
Soulbind this time as well.
Yep.
Though I'll be honest that when you... Okay, I'll be honest that for like Empire, the question we always have is like, how do you know, some viewers ask me, how do you know which are the new blood? You know, I don't follow the EU scene. Well, you look at Ghostex's hero pool and then you know he's an old player because he's been trying Axe, he's been the Slardar. What's the new meta? I don't care. I don't play Mars. I'm going for
How
Slardar.
dare you say that when Ghostic played offlane Vengeful Spirit of the 2021 meta? He is up to date
10
with the
seconds
kids.
remaining.
Okay, Sheepa, offlane Vengeful Spirit is like a thing that used to be done as well before
5
the
seconds
new meta with
remaining.
the Axe thing.
I'm
It used to
literally
be a
10 years
thing.
Fire
old. I
team
don't know
ban.
what you're talking
Radiant
Yeah, I
teams
can
turn to
tell.
ban.
Rise up, my oldies. Write down your...
He's younger than me, man.
Write down
You're the youngest person on this panel.
your emoticons in the chat, whatever they are. Spam the
What's
face.
the boomer
things.
emojis?
You guys are so awful.
Spam
I'm all about
faces?
the emojis.
What?
He's like saying, what's that Pepe thing? Like
10
Pepe
seconds
something?
remaining.
Yeah,
I'm like,
spam the froggy ones. Ooh.
Jesus Christ.
Whatever that means.
5 seconds
But,
remaining.
You dress like an old man, you speak like an old man. I don't know where they found you, but they need to put you back.
Wow.
Which old people's home? Tyrant Village down the street.
Oh,
Parker
Jesus.
gave me
Dire
a
team
chance.
ban.
Fuck, you made a mistake, my friend.
There's the puck ban again, so they want to
Dire
prevent that
teams
from
turn to
Navi
ban.
this time, from no one.
I mean, there's just
teams
like a
turn
lot
to
of...
I love this pickup against the Slardar. Always great.
This is it. This is the lit we talked about. The lit
From?
against the... How dare you put me on the spot?
You know it, Cheapo. Remember?
It was a coach. Execration.
What a genius! Wow.
Radiant teams
What a
turn
memory.
To Dire teams turn to
Against OP Neon, of course.
Get
Yes.
OBD on!
Yes.
Thank you!
This is someone who covers 2 regions and who knows them well enough to cite them and
I'm
quote them.
so smart.
They like this Slaughter TB. They're ready for it.
They literally
round
just
two.
did the exact same thing, but with a
Which is better.
It is better. It does
Oh.
give them that guaranteed like area of control. I mean, BKBs you can always get away, but Glimpse and Kinetic Field at least give away to lockdown heroes for.
Okay.
PL comes out. PL's the TB counter. Burn all his mana, can't cast Thunder. TB doesn't kill illusions very well. None of their heroes kill
10
illusions very well.
seconds remaining.
PL's just good against Slaughter, high armor. It's a 6 PL
great.
pick. Yeah.
I don't know if someone has
5
figured
seconds
something
remaining.
out, but I feel like Empire are just countering themselves right now for some reason. So first pick Sand King should not... It's not even last pick, like it's not a 4-pick Sand King. It's a we're
Dire
going to
teams
counter
turn
you
to ban.
Sand King pick.
Radiant
And they
team
just
ban.
didn't pick a safe lane that decimates Sand King. Sand King is one of the weakest offlaners in the early levels. We've seen...
Level 1 to 3.
Yeah, we've seen... 3's pretty good. But I would say we've seen multiple teams now draft into Sand King and actually just destroy him. Like, he'll die like 2-3 times in the lane before he hits his like actual levels when
10
he can
seconds
sit around.
left.
Then people play
Decided?
like Wraith Kings into him, Troll
Dire
Warlord into
team
him,
ban. Radiant
strong
teams
carry
turn to
laners. What do they pick? Terrorblade. What? Like, it seems to be maybe their comfort or something, but like, you're picking it into Lich,
Sand King.
Sand King,
Grimstroke?
Grimstroke, and then they have a counter pick on Navi, so now they're getting
10
PL, who
seconds
is a
remaining.
classic counter to Terrorblade.
That's a very good point, actually. There's not a single hero that Terrorblades
5
could have
seconds
in this
remaining.
draft.
The funny thing is now with these last bans, both teams are looking for a mid, and both teams are looking for a mid that kind of maybe deals with illusions because they both have illusion carries. So both teams are banning the same kind of heroes. Like, oh, Bat Rider Lash, yeah, Tinker, let's just ban out these illusion killing heroes.
But Navi already have such good matchups Like Lich,
they don't need it.
Yeah, Lich is
Dire
really
team's
great
turn.
into IO and Slaughter and Terrorblade and all this. So yeah, it doesn't matter. They just need to pick something that's good for the
Choose your hero.
the strat, and they'll just go for spirits because they're the most generic mids going. This fin to every drop. This was such a fast drop, by the way. I feel like we didn't get to talk about it. But if I have to say something, it's that I think whilst Na'Vi are better in a clash, Empire have the split push advantage, and they do Roche much better than Na'Vi. So those should probably be their the points that they focus on. Yeah, because who really kills the illusion? So it's like they have some nice team fight bursts, but like I think let's go farm it up.
I want to see how this mid matchup goes. You know, we get the Battle of the Spirits. I feel like these are the two that can control the tempo of the game. And given how like the last few games, 45 minutes slow pace, it's the game where I want to see no one really step up the tempo, play that fast, like 4, create space for 1, the PL.
All right, you heard my panelists here. The end of the best of 3 is near. Let's go now with Cap and Fear.
Ooh, I love a good toss and a rhyme on top of that. Thank you, Avo. That was wonderful. Fear, what do you think for Game 3? Looking at this draft, feels like we've got a hard carry on both sides. We've got an initiator. We've got a spirit hero. It's like both these heroes are both these lineups are kind of evening that middle ground. They got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, but what Empire does not have is the win condition, so that's always feels bad. TB versus PL is an awful matchup, and they only had one hero to deal with PL in their last game, right? And they got a Void Spirit because everything else was banned. Drafting-wise, I think Na'Vi is like, sitting really comfortable right now with this draft compared to what Empire put together.
It feels like the experience advantage, right? Like we have just kind of accepted TB Luna as very meta carries right now. Let's just draft those over and over again. And then Phantom Lancer, who I personally haven't seen at all this DP, a classic counter, ends up getting picked up. And, you know, it may be out of meta, but it looks really sick here. As you said, there's not a whole lot of AoE damage to be able to deal with this. They just have the Void Spirit. At best, maybe a Static Storm. Like, that's reaching. That's reaching right there.
Yeah, the reason why PL isn't meta is because he has tons of counters, which basically just means there's very small window in which this hero fits. But when he does fit, it's one of those moments where like, damn, we should have banned it, guys. And I know as a TB player, I know everyone that I've played with that plays TB, nobody wants to play TB versus PL. Unless you have like a lot of AoE on your team. So I will say though, I did a little bit of research on Empire. They played in a tournament recently, and this Slaughter IO offlane, it's their jam. You know, they went 2-0 with it pretty recently with it, and it is not an easy lane for PL by any means. So if they do want to take this game on Empire, it's going to be off the back of a really good laning phase.
Okay, I like that. So we need a good laning phase.
30 seconds to battle.
How else? Specifically for the TB, in the TB versus Phantom Lancer matchup, like, it's a bad matchup for you, so what can you do?
If it goes late enough, there's not much. You just have to, like, find the real PL somehow and be able to click it, but you don't have a lot of AoE there. That's a very difficult task, right? The starter's not going to help you with that. IO's not going to help you with that, and maybe if Void Spirit has a good game and he gets a quick ags, he can help a bit in that department, but that's why the matchup is so hard, is because TB just has no toolkit to find the real PL, except for his Q, but that every PL player knows to save your Manta or your W for when that goes off, and then you need something else after that.
Okay, so it sounds like to me, like you can't basically rest on your laurels and just play the jungle until I get my Scotty. Do you have to use your meta a little bit more like oriented towards pushing and taking towers? Like you just gotta get an early lead, right?
You have to win before 30. That's pretty much what it comes down to, if there's no answer.
All right, well, the clock is ticking, and just 29 minutes left for Empire to be able to put together a victory. Oh, General, this bottom lane, a 2-man burrow strike to start things off, followed up by a clean miss there, the stroke of fate. A split between the two pins, but still. some decent damage done. What do you think about this TB pick again into the Sand King? They did pretty well at pressuring the Sand King last time. You think they'll be able to do it again? I feel like Grimstroke makes this lane a lot different.
Yeah, I think TB is kind of like a fake illusion hero. He doesn't really mind playing into like Sand King, for example. You can actually output a lot of damage into him and zone him off the wave, as we were talking about how strong this TB is, even without meta. And when you do get meta, Sand King can't really trade with you, can he? So it's honestly fine. I mean, they're gonna show you right now.
Gonna go for Aloha Dance. General, nice two-man stun once again to be able to get him away, but it does mean he's gonna be in a bit of trouble now, taking a lot of damage as Lightless keeping the reflection. General had, a lot of stick charges. Jeez, that was a big heal. But they're low on regen at this point. It's Aloha Dance giving over his salve, and that's kind of it. Let's take a look at the mid lane. We've got classic Spirit matchup, Void Spirit versus Ember Spirit. Currently looks like no one, maybe a slight lead.
You have been denied.
Yeah, nobody really looks at mid anymore because it's so boring.
It really is. God, it's so boring.
Farm, grab a rune, farm, grab a rune. Only time it gets interesting is supports start to play mid early. The most interesting lane to me will be the top lane to see how this PL can do against this incredibly strong lane in IO Slardar.
Yeah, Ghost Stick is definitely going to need to pull out all the stops and carry Empire in this, and it starts from the very get-go, pressuring Platoon as much as possible. He's down to one tango, it looks like. Sal's still on solo, so they have plenty of regen still to go, but he also hasn't hit that. Like, I feel like Slardar feels really, really good when you get the second level of Bash in the Deep, doubles in damage. So, not expecting him to run the Phantom Lancer out of lane just yet, but time is coming.
I think this lane is pretty much over when PL gets 6, so if they do want to make something happen, it has to be by then. They ideally want to be in a position where this this PL has to jungle pre-6, right? Because that just feels bad. Whether they can get there or not, if he has to go jungle when he's 6, PL's not going to mind that much because he'll farm a lot. And their lane is in a great position right now. Even though they got this single pull off, doesn't look like it'll matter at all. PL is very sad with what's happening here.
Yeah,
I feel like just to keep hold the wave here, right?
It was something that I felt like Zai did really well last year. He was always struck by the fact that he always had lane equilibrium. Bottom lane, they're gonna get a bit of a poke on Fury, but he's like, no. I'm not backing away from this one. You have to run away because Lightless is on his way. They're gonna try and go for the Inkswell to be able to save General's life, and it does. No, it doesn't. Reflection. It's not quite enough damage.
That's really sad there because that was a little bit of a misplay for Aloha Dance. If he would have used his Mango and Inkswell in the initial stun, they would have killed Disruptor for sure. Instead, now they got zoned out and life's hard. Again, for the Sand King, he's at 7 CS. Oh,
First blood!
and first blood.
Jeez, the first blood for Lightless. They really thought the Cosmic Finale pop was going to be able to push them over the edge. And now, Fury, he's going for the kill here, but it reads a little bit wrong. Aloha Dance person down first before the Thunder Strike comes to play. I really thought this lane was going to be better for the Sand King than last time, just because they had that clear Burrow Strike into Inkswell. It's such a big kill threat that I thought they'd be able to put some pressure on TB, but we haven't really seen that yet.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think the Sand King is making mistakes by getting stun level 1. Like, he got a nice double stun at level 1, but it's like all it did was it forced like a tango and it gave him magic stick charges, right? Like, it looked cool, but he's not in a position where he's able to shove the lane. And right after they did that, TB got too low first because he didn't shove the lane in, and then they got zoned completely from the lane. And that's just how the Sand King lane works. If they get 2 before you and they zone you out of the lane, there's no comeback in Sand King other than neutral. They're gonna try and light this here.
They do manage to get out of the kinetic field and get that extra bit of Inkswell damage. You can see just the illusion doing a lot to Aloha Dance in return, but any salves? Uh-oh.
No salves.
They don't have any salves right now.
Fortified their
So this TB is just going to have to hit a bit of a timeout. Fury does die, but he can't even come back to lane right away either, so.
That was very strange. I looked away for a second. I just saw Disruptor in the middle of like a double wave clicking them.
Yeah,
I understand if he wanted to die and bring a salve, but like his TP was on cooldown for a little. And he can't even afford a salve. He can't afford it.
God. He's gonna have to do that thing where he asks his TB, can you drop a salve? He's not even gonna do that. Oh no.
Here's a tango.
I feel like this one tango may not be enough. If they get another Bro Strike Inkswell, it may not kill the TB, but it'll certainly put him in the same position he was before, which is not getting CS.
Yeah, I mean, he might stabilize a little bit. His CS is still really good. Assuming they don't continue this harassment, right? So they're weathering the storm a little bit. So bizarre to watch two teams at this level just not care about runes and on spirit versus spirit matchup. 6 minutes and most sports just care about their laning stage.
Camping it out.
And
how is that top lane going? 40-7, so Ghostix doing all right, but they haven't run the Phantom Lines out of lane just yet. Bottom lane, they are going to be able to chase down Kiori, it looks like, as throws out a remnant, pops right back after the glimpse. And they pressure Lightless at all, though. This big wave under tower.
Someone better help Dyer's middle
keeping in the
tower.
Void Spirit. I think they're going to do anything. This is just like a feels bad TP from SH here. Not really doing anything, just kind of protecting his tower. It's kind of necessary, but still feels bad. But to answer your question about the top lane, I think V-Tune is happy with how this lane went. Like, he didn't dominate or anything, but, you know, he got his farm. He has pretty respectable farm right now for being against a very strong lane, and his hero only gets better. And bottom lane didn't catch that, but no one
didn't respect the remnant that was left behind by no one. He went back to base, TP'd back, and came back full mana. Blew up the Terror Blade with the help of Aloha Dance once again with that Inkswell. Now they're looking for more here, maybe trading supports as that last light does dodge the glimpse and keeps on top of Kiori. So a 2-for-1 trade in this bottom lane.
Yeah, so this PL, he's kind of like a ticking time bomb. And he's having a great game. Like, Slaughter's also having a really good game. It's just more of like, what can Slaughter do in this game with the farm he's amounted? And it's gonna have to be a lot. It's gonna have to be a lot of mid-game pressure, and I think more than ever, they're gonna have to find ways of finding PL and stopping his farm. It's very easy to get into the trap of, you know, killing, let's say they kill Ember 3 times in a row, but they don't check this PL, right? And come 25 minutes, he's gonna have his timings, and it's gonna be hard to play the game. So they're gonna have to like go for the priority kills this game, which is
nice dissimulates and a jump away. They're gonna go for this under tier 2? No. Covers himself with the Aether Remnant. Navi are forced to give up on that play, but they are getting some good damage on bottom tower in the meantime, chasing heroes out of the way.
Radiant's bottom
Solo
tower's got problems.
playing the top. Yeah, they're really a fan of
They're beating
I don't know how else to say it. Supports that just don't really move around and stun so much. Now we've got the Lich, who's just going to be sitting there in lane with maxed out Frost Shields over and over again.
Yeah, I noticed their drafting.
Where those
it's a different way of thinking, right? So the way Solo plays some of his heroes is he just picked it because he saw Slaughter, right? Yeah, it's good for Slaughter. Another game he picked the Silencer, and then he just picked a lot of jumps with it. So he has like an idea behind why he plays his hero, but yeah, they often don't have Solo playing the good stun. But Aloha Dance was flying last game. He did have some good stuns in that game. But this one, they're a little limited. They got the Wombo combo though. I haven't seen that one in a minute. The Soulbind
Chain Frost. Yeah. That's a team fight winner right there. And it is, I mean, I've seen a couple of Lich games here and there. This is definitely the best one I've seen in a while. You said, with the Grimstroke against Slardar and TB, like very single target heroes. Frost Shield's gonna feel pretty good in this game. Aloha Dance hovering around the mid lane, but they're actually gonna go for just a straight up Static Storm onto the Ember Spirits with Relocate in. That's enough to finish him off the killing streak. And +1 it looks like with Lightless popping the Sunder, getting himself back up to full health and killing Aloha Dance. An opportunity for a push on mid, maybe? Don't have meta though.
Yeah, he's got the Blink Dagger now. Slaughter.
Dire's middle tower isn't going to last long.
That'll happen sometimes.
Yeah, you go for a D ward, you run into a core.
It's like people have been getting better at that, and you don't see it as much, but it still happens to the best of us.
All right, so Blink Ghost Stick into BKB after that. We almost have Diffusal Blade, it looks like, for Vitoon. Are you okay with this, Diffusal Blade rush, rather than a Manta?
Middle tower shouldn't have to take this abuse. Radiant structures so fortified.
Yeah. I think that's just a more aggressive approach.
Yeah.
It's a more aggressive approach. So the Manta is just like you want to farm. The Diffusal just like you see heroes on the map that if they're playing too far up, you're just gonna kill them. And I think in this game he has a lot of targets that he can actually kill. Even if he sees Slaughter on one of these side lanes, he's just gonna run at them, diffuse them, and go in on them. So it gives them like a freedom to play more aggressive.
Where did Radiant's middle tower go?
The double damage. Everyone gets that tower. They actually do manage to get a silence here in Shisui, and he's dead. A really nice pickup after being able to get that mid tower like that, being able to kill Shisui now. We were talking about how Empire needs to be able to set the pace, but it looks like Na'Vi is walking away with some serious wins. Still a slight net worth lead for Empire, but I feel like Na'Vi is winning the game just because I look at the map, right? They're pushing in mid, they're pushing in bottom aggressively.
Yeah, for sure. I think this game has to feel
tower is under attack.
Like you have to feel like you're on the timer, right? And when it's going like a position where you can't even pressure, it has to feel bad.
Oh my God! Do you see what's happening? Is Dire Triangle? They left the bounty runes. 4 bounty runes, 200 gold for everybody on Na'Vi, just like that.
Dang, that's a lot. He went travel build on SH2. I just don't think they're gonna be doing anything this game. And like last game as well, the Slardar build, I don't even know if it's a build or more so the hero, but they're not getting much out of it. Like he has this early blink, but they're just so okay farming. At that point, you might as well just like get an arm blade and just be a secondary carry, you know?
Are those cracks in Dire's top tower?
Running down the 4 Disruptor. So you would have preferred what, like the fast Yule's build to set up for Yule's Aether Remnant, and then you can have the relocate in, or did you want like an Ags rush?
They're beating
I feel like
on
I haven't
Dire's
seen too many
top
Ags.
I would want the. Are you talking about the Void Spirit, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I wanted them to sync item.
Dire's top tower is under
Void
attack.
Spirit and Slaughter on 1 second. The blink reveal on Sand King.
Still managed to get the Burrow Strike onto Lightless, and the silent follow up with the Epicenter. Oh, he got up the Sunder last second, and the relocate out at the same time. A little bit awkward. Shisui is going to be able to get here and maybe clean up one. No, they got the glimpse back on. Oh, no way. General got the Burrow Strike midway through the glimpse, so he peered back for a second, but then his Burrow Strike completed, and he ends up back in the river again. Really nice counterplay there from Na'Vi. Failing to get the kill, but got everybody out after that.
Yeah, and on the backline, you saw the Diffusal Blade from the PL. Caught the Slardar. If he didn't have Diffusal there, Slaughter would have for sure got out. So, already paying off a bit. And Disruptor again. Maybe be okay. Well, they have a glimpse here.
Yeah, they can certainly bring somebody back, but it's going to be General straight into the hands of Lightless. No one is going to stick around just long enough to be able to get this Disruptor kill. Now trying to help solo the aggression coming out from Ghost Stick. Fortunately, with the power runes, they're feeling pretty all right for themselves, especially with no Yule Scepter. Shisui is in trouble. He's got to dissimulate back. Tries to catch with the Aether Remnant. No one is already kept his distance. Perhaps looking to re-engage. The Phantom Lancer is pushing through mid right now.
He's working on that Manta. Still a very happy Phantom Lancer. To go back to your point though, like I wanted to see like if he's going Blink on Slaughter, I would love to see the Yules or Ags. But if he's gonna go Travels on the Void Spirit, I want to see Slaughter like just be okay with farming too and pick up like an armlet for himself and look to scale a bit more.
Just sync up the timings, right? If you guys want to get aggressive at 15 minutes, get the aggressive items, both of you. If not. You want to play a little more farm heavy, that's fine. Try and hit a nice 20-25 minute timing instead. This little mix means that Navi's just kind of running over them in a game where it's very much the shoe needs to be on the other foot for Empire to be able to win this carry-on-carry matchup. They're bleeding away heroes at this point. Now Ghostic's going to get caught as well. He tries to go for a TP out, but the damage from that Diffuser blade is too much. Nice pickup. I love it when Grimstrokes go for that third level in Phantom's Grand Praise, and you can see the effectiveness right there. Lasts just long enough to be able to get the Inks well stunned, and that allows them to be able to get a very, very nice pickoff. As, again, Empire continuing to just lose heroes all around the map, and Na'Vi is just kind of running at them with a very fast-paced Dota.
Top tower deserves
I agree with that choice there. Like, he even offers to skip his ult for it, but it's so important to get that one extra hit when you're playing versus like a Spirit specifically.
Radiant's top tower.
Oh,
Own it.
wow, that's a lot of damage. I think he needed that proc too to get back.
Yeah, probably. Get some Maelstrom proc in order to get the kill. 5-14, 3,000 net worth lead. It was pretty even just a couple minutes ago in net worth, but it felt like Na'Vi was kind of determining. They were in the driver's seat of this game for sure, and now it's beginning to show dividends in the net worth chart. And that's only going to get worse. I mean, Phantom Lancer is a menace in this game with the Diffuser Blade. Once he gets a Manta, he's a huge threat in fights. And once he gets hurt, right? Like, I feel like it's the third item timing. It's over, right? This matchup's over.
25, 30 minutes. That's like 30 minutes is like the latest.
Yeah. Nice catch on at the rate midway through tether.
Yeah, at the rate this is going, this might be a 25-minute timing or earlier. 5 minutes ahead of schedule.
Mega kill!
Poor Disruptor, man. Every time I look at him, he's just somewhere dying. Like, they don't have a plan here on Empire. There's definitely some desperation going on, or just some cluelessness of like what they should be doing in this game.
And I'm looking at Lightless and I'm going, okay, maybe there's an item timing here. No. He's trying to build BKB right now. SNY BKB. It's not coming around for a while. Aghanim Scepter from Shizu. I mean, he's going to have to do so much to benefit. I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. But I think this new Na'Vi, I was talking about game 1, the way they drafted and fit their play. Just like run at you heroes, these Ember Spirit, Grimstroke, so like just any Spirit mid, really fits them better than, you know, the Stream Protector, Lina type of stuff they're doing game 1. Yeah. Definitely not the type of team that wants to sit back and farm.
I mean, no one on this Ember Spirit, he's just been a monster. He's just running around constantly aggressively, whereas Lina, as you said, a lot more passive. Maybe people traditionally think of Lina as like this gamer, but nowadays it's more of like a hard carry. So they're going to be able to hit the TV. Lightless is getting desperate in his positioning, trying to find farm where he can. But Na'Vi have swept through the map multiple times, and they're going to be able to get Lightless and Ghostic in this engagement. We're tempted to relocate out just shy of being able to save the Slardar. So now at a third hero death to Empire.
Yep. One more.
Wicked sick! Double kill.
General immediately on the other side of the map. Love this. Look at how fast they're playing. Then now, like, all this movement that we're seeing from Na'Vi looks so good. As like you said it, like they look so much better when they draft being the aggressors. Now this TP coming in from Lightless, they're already in place for it. An swell into a Blink epicenter. It's just going to be game over for Lightless. He just came out from death. He just went in for a kill, and he's already been gone on. He's already been picked off. He's got to be so frustrated. Fantastic.
Diving.
Yeah, they're going for it. Tune. Okay, got him inside the Static Storm. Can they actually kill him here? Focus him down. He can't. It's not enough. He gets away. Okay, bring him back in with the glimpse. He does manage to get the doppelganger off. Ghostic finds the right one. One swing is all he had, and he found the real Phantom Lancer. So they get, I would almost say, lucky pickoff onto Na'Vi. A little bit of over-aggression there from the carry.
It's like one of those moments where you're feeling yourself a little too much.
Yeah, now maybe a little bit more, but it's a nice interception. That is an ink swell for the ages there as it explodes and gets 3 kills. All thanks to General's just beautiful blink-in stun. That 2-man stun by him allows Loha Dance to get a triple kill.
That's a clip right there. That was beautiful.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
That is your Twitch clip moment, Na'Vi, for what is very likely a series victory as we have reached closing in on that hard territory for Phantom Lancer. Also level 18, which is a big pickup. You get to level 25, you get the doppelganger cooldown. It's
Flames will spread thrice.
I mean, Navi's just going through the motions now. Because I haven't seen this big of an outdraft in a very long time.
Radiant's top tower is falling.
Kind of hard to get excited because I don't know what Empire can possibly do. Like, Navi literally has to do what they just did and just throw and dive towers unnecessarily. Probably because they're bored or something, or they're feeling like they're too strong. They want to just dominate them. But if they just kind of sit back and farm and wait for this heart to take Roche, they can just go walk out down this combo.
There it is. They do manage to get the only one. Oh, it passed over to the other side. It looks like both of them went over to Creeps. Shisui ends up copping both of them at the very end. No kill there for Na'Vi out of. And we're just pretty much waiting for Vitoon. Get that heart. And then Na'Vi can probably, Roshan take tier 2s. What can, like, I feel like I'm reaching at straws here, Fear. Is there any build that, like, what is your ideal situation? Let's just imagine he had 10,000 more net worth. What would his build look like against the
bottom tower's got
the big timing. So if he just had a butterfly in his inventory and BKB, I still think they would be at a disadvantage. But if you had butterfly, satanic, and Mjolnir right now when they took a fight, I think they have a chance. Just if you can conjure that somehow.
Just gift him items, Gaben. Making it a little interesting. No one is going to be able to find the pick off on TSA. This kind of mobility on these heroes, Sand King, Ember Spirit, once you're behind and you can no longer fight back. You're pretty much just scrambling to try and push out side lanes and find farm where you can. And these heroes are so good at being able to just close the map in around you. It feels claustrophobic because all your lanes are pushed in and there's nowhere for you to get out on the map.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even just the heroes, because like I was like 1 game away from being on the Na'Vi hate wagon, But luckily, these last 2 games, they've been playing much better, and this game specifically, like a lot of people have high hopes. Oh, mid lane real quick. BKB?
No one has a BKB, so now the chances of being able to burst him down are pretty much slim to none. They're going to be able to get that double chain frost out. Shisui is going to be covered by the static storm from his disruptor. Still not able to get out though, as no one's got the slight chains into the Phantom's embrace from Aloha Dance. Shisui falls.
Moral of the story is this team has got exponentially better throughout the series, drafting wise and play wise. They actually impressed me in this game. Game 1, not impressed at all. I think they're making very amateur mistakes, to be honest with you. Game number 2, it was a bit shaky. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit shaky. Their draft wasn't super impressive either. But I think this is the winning formula for Na'Vi. Give Vitoon hard carry, and then pick a bunch of brawlers for the other 4, right? Make some space for them. And I think you get solid results with this roster if they do that. Everyone seems to know what they're doing when they're given this position. Vitoon is no stranger to playing hard carry. General is very good at making space and thinking. He's gonna make a roll for it. No one can play both roles, but for this team specifically, I think he should be playing more of the spirits. And Solo's a killer. Give him a hero that can walk around with no one and get some kills.
Has there been times in your career on teams that you've played where you've had that moment where things weren't really going well and then you found a formula that works for you?
Just as much help as fun.
Yeah, there's definitely deep down in everyone's heart when you play on team, they kind of know what you're best at, but there's always that desire to be the best at everything, right? Where you kind of push your limits because you are confident, right? And it's good to be confident. Some teams don't just stick to what they're good at. They want to be able to play full.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
So do you feel like finding your style is? Do you feel like that is sometimes a catalyst for you? Like you slowly start expanding from there, right? Like,
yeah, that's how it should be for sure.
Okay.
You should definitely find what works. I don't know if Navi already found that and they're experimenting in the earlier series, but this seems to be like by far their strongest style. Even though it's a huge outdraft, like I can tell by the way they're moving on the map and how they're playing. Get the blink here and
Zero before he gets off the BKB. It does go down, but he was unable to get off the Sunder. There was no targets for him to be able to go for. General already got himself up the mules, and now it's just cleanup time for Navi as the damage is all gone, but the TV dead. Triple kill for Platoon, and pretty much right on the money there, Fear. It's 26 minutes, and the game is over. Ghostic calls it. They tap out Empire. They may have claimed game one, but as you said, Navi, they really they hit their stride. They found, or maybe went back to something that that works for them. We now know the women as observers. Maybe they already knew in scrims and stuff like now, but we know as observers what the winning formula is for this team. It's aggressive heroes. It's everything that you laid out for us.
Yeah, until they like have a talk. Can they fix like how to play the different styles? Like if they're going to a series like let's say an hour from now, they should stick with this until they talk about it and find a different way to play.
Yeah, a bit of a bright light here for Navi fans who it's been a little bit stormy over the last year or two, but perhaps a good chance for them as they manage to get a nice first series win for themselves in the DPC. That is not it, though. We've got more Eastern European action. We're going to go to a break, let the panel break it down, and talk about the upcoming series.